Our dreams just fade to gray. There's a legend they all love to say. Smitty's the name, but he's got no heart. He'll tear your dreams and tear them apart. He walks the streets with a sense to grit. Promises made, but they're paid. But then he'll charm you with his silver tongue. But when it's done, your song's unsung. Smitty don't care about you. He'll leave you broken and blue. With a fantastic vibe, they thrive in a world where the weed hits good and alive. But amidst the shadows, there's a light. The fantastic five, they're ready to fight. They stand as one against Smitty's reign. Their bond unbreakable, no need to fade. With courage in their hearts, they rise. Through the darkness, they'll reach the skies.
Yes, I summoned you, Shannon. Wow. Uh, you want to come on panel? I'd love to talk to you. Jeremy, I know you're not gonna do the panel, but are you aware of what's going on with Forever 21? Did you let Joey know? Or could you let Joey know? And if you're not aware, I can give you a brief synopsis if you need to know. Are you aware about Forever 21 was in the hospital? Had to do with a heart valve. Yeah, I have no idea. I'd be up to. Shannon, you can find me on Facebook if you got Facebook. Mike Smitty. Yeah, I know you probably don't know. It's some Jeremy. It's somebody from our old group, whatever you want to call it on here, gang, posse, delinquent, more like it. I feel more comfortable in delinquent title. I'm glad you're doing okay, Shannon. I hope everything's okay in the doctor. It's good to see you. Yeah, it's a skate thing. I'd love to catch up with you somehow. Get in touch with me if you can. I'm not on TikTok anymore. So I know that seems to be the only place for you. I hope everything's going well for you, Shannon. I really do. Surprise, I do care. Haha, you got me. Not all the time. And I'm going to start caring. I'm going to start caring less in 2025. Like Trump and all them getting the budget under track, I'm going to keep my caring under track. Yeah, I left that like 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there. It's bullshit there too, just like you too. You know. Yeah. I don't care what your politics is. I don't care. I don't care anything about that. You gotta know. You gotta be behind getting rid of government spending. Finally, somebody's doing something about it. It may not be a total of appropriate, but you know what? How long is American citizens going to wait around and keep giving money? I'm doing okay. It's as good as I'm gonna do. Yeah, I got involved in a group in there and met some good people, but then bullshit I didn't want to get involved in, got pulled into, and I said, fuck it, I'm done. I don't know. You still do your channel? I don't have my notifications on for YouTube. So I don't know if you still do your live channel. I'm not on here that much. I watch videos and that's about it. I've come live the past 2 days. I didn't think anybody was going to show up. I had one person yesterday in an hour, and I just played the songs I have. Okay. All right. Yeah, I won't do that to you, Jan. And I'm in North Carolina, so if you see that show up, I'll text you first to let you know it's me. Fuck. Greg Johnny, good to see you. Good to see you. Now there's a man that keeps supporting the community. I give you credit. It's an echo chamber. It's just nonstop. I don't even know what's going on anymore. To tell you the truth. I know, Jeremy. And look, I'm a different kind of fighter. And until they have a throat punch button that I can hit, it's really pointless. I just keep on going around in circles, arguing with people over stupid shit. I've given my address a million times. I mean, shit. But how many times are you gonna talk about Mike Cerrone? Or I mean, they're talking about Joey now. I've heard. I don't know. It's just fucking stupid shit. It, it was okay for the first couple months. I mean, this internet drama, you fuck around and find out, you know. God rest his soul, Triggered Limey. He was a casualty of internet bullshit. Now he's no longer with us. We lost a good gamer. Really? Oh. I will, Shannon. Thank you so much. Thanks for reaching out. I'm glad you got my message. There she is. All right, Shannon. You take care. Thanks for stopping in, like I said, and I'll give you a text. Take care. Good luck at the doctor. What's up, Nicole? What is up, you sneaky snake? I don't fear anything, really, Jeremy. Not anymore. Well, I do fear ice, and I do fear not ice. I'm not on illegal. The other ice, the real ice that you slip on. And I do fear heights still. Other than that, I fear no man on this planet. I'm at the point I'm gonna be 53, and of all the fights I had, my next one's gonna be to the death. That's on my bucket list. Or going to jail is on my bucket list. So either way, I'll win. Oh, I can imagine. Ice up there. I just got a new gaming chair today. And it wasn't the one I was going to buy. My daughter went to, she went to the gym, and next to the Planet Fitness, they have a Habitat for Humanity. She got me a gaming chair that has the cushion up top, black and gray. All I got to do is throw some red on it, and I got the 18 band colors. And then it's, what's the name brand of this? I want to get it right. It's a Bossin, Bossin. It's got the lower lumbar, it's got the upstairs cushion, and it's got the footrest. She got it. It's got one little tear in it. $35. I was going to buy one that had speakers and lights in it, and that was $135. And I'll tell you right now, my ass is in a glorious spot right now. Hey, Enemy, what's up, bro? Yeah, I mean, I was gonna buy it. I mean, it had the lights and the speakers. I just cared about the lumbar, and I had a computer chair, and that thing, the top of it came up to the bottom of my neck. So if I leaned back, my head was like a bam. This one, I can put my feet up and game, and my daughter's good at finding deals. She also got luck in the lottery. I might go to the Cherokee Casino with her one day, because in 3 days she won $285. That's some good luck. Thank God she don't have my bad luck. Yeah, I can always add lights to this, Jeremy. They have those strip lights. I could add those to it if I wanted to. I mean, I don't go on camera, so I don't care. I just care about my ass and my back. And I got to put my foot up every now and then because I got to, because I have to. So. Hang on. I'm going to play a song because I have to do something for her quick. And no better song than to play this one.
In the heart of Arkansas, where the river runs wild, lives a woman named Nicole. She's got a spirit so mild, a single mother standing tall. She's raising her kids with a heart full of love and a strength that never quits. She's a mama with power, an outlaw with grace, fierce as a lion in this wild, rugged place. She'd give her last breath, she'd fight till the end for those little ones she loves. Her heart's never been. She stands like a tree, rooted deep in her love. Her spirit's so free. She's a mama with power, an outlaw with grace, fierce as a lion in this wild, rugged place. She'd give her last breath, she'd fight till the end for those little ones she loves. Her heart's never been. In a world that's so tough, she's tougher than steel, with a love that.
Well, Nicole, I'll play it again, but chat's picking up before I fall behind here. Terry, I posted a link earlier. If you can't find it, let me know. If you want to come up and say hi, I'd love to hear your lovely, sultry voice that I haven't heard in months. So, and anybody else, enemy? Jeremy, you know the offer's out there. Hell, Nicole might surprise me one day and hit the link. Prairie, so good to see you. I hope all is well. I think about you here and there. I haven't been around. But thanks for stopping back. Damn, I got 10 people here. Holy shit. I don't know how to act. Nova. Oh my God. All right. Nicole, could you help me out and drop a link for me? Oh, no, you can't. Never mind. I got to do that. Duh. I haven't been here in a while. Hang on. Oh, Nicole got it. Thank you. Here you go. Nova, come on up, girl. It's good to see you. Good to see you. I hope all is well. I'm glad to see you're still around. The internet hasn't knocked you down again. Because it will do that. Definitely will. Thanks, Barry. That means a lot to me. I have like one hand that says care and the other hand says don't care. You know, I put that in the hand that says care. I don't know. Came around to see who was still around, and now I have a chair of cheer. Here we go. Well, well, well.
Hello, hello. How the hell are you today?
What is up, my brother?
How you been, man? I ain't seen you around in a bit.
I've been laying low, man.
Me too. I haven't poked my head above ground very often lately either.
Well, I haven't called you because I know you're always busy because you're always out helping somebody.
I do get busy
You know?
a lot. I do
So-
get busy a lot.
My phone number, I was never mad at you. I mean, that last message we had, you never did anything to me, brother.
Oh, I didn't think you were mad at me at all.
No. I talked to
I didn't think
Devo.
I'd done. Did you?
Yes. Yes.
Good
Only
deal.
thing I'm going to put out there, he should be coming home soon. The last time I talked to him, they were working on an exit plan.
Yeah, it won't be long now.
So, you know, I'm excited for him.
Me too. I'd say he's probably excited as well.
Oh, he is, and he's in good spirits. I mean, I'm being vague, you know why, and I'm just saying he's in good spirits, and my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, but I just think I hope they adjust his medication a little bit because they got to. He was himself, but you could tell he was on like if you took a bunch of or some kind of, you know what I'm saying, not in a bad way, but just too much medication.
Well, you know how I feel about medication. I feel that most people that are taking it are highly over medicated. There's not too
Oh,
many
I
people
know,
where doctors
I
want
know,
to admit that is all it is.
but I'm not gonna argue. Although I didn't talk to him for a while too because I felt he didn't need me in my mouth interfering with his recovery and you know whatever you want to call it, right? So sometimes silence is better than speaking.
It can be. He had to put up with me and all my advice. So,
Well, hey, well, I knew you were still talking to him when you messaged me.
you knew
I knew
what?
you
I'm
were.
sorry.
And I'm going to. I knew when you messaged me and you were talking to him. I knew he was okay.
Yeah,
I
well, I'll
hadn't.
try.
I only said I only messaged him once since like the time he went, and then when you called,
Right.
and then about I'm going to say 2 weeks ago, I was able to get him and Nicole into Messenger in a group thing,
Uh huh.
and they got to talk again for the first time, in a month. So that was really good for him because he really cares for Nicole like I do.
Right.
She's a great
Right.
person. So that cheered him up. I can tell.
Another name I hadn't seen in a while. Nicole. She's out there. Hello, hi, and howdy.
Uh, she's still on my side. She's always looking out. The girl's amazing. And if you know, you know. If you don't, well, you're lost, I guess, right?
Well,
you
everybody
know.
doesn't know everything. That's for sure.
No, no. I mean, some people pretend to know everything.
Well, some people are convinced they know everything.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the only thing they're right about half the time. Yeah, you know everything, but you're wrong every time.
Well, I had that problem back in my teen years. I had those years where I was pretty sure that
Oh,
everybody around me was dumber than shit, and I was the smartest person in the group. And then I found out it was quite the opposite. Dumb people tend to think that way till they get smarter. Is what it is.
I'm going to be 53 and I still think I'm a freaking know it all, smart ass kid. So I guess I'm never going to change. Hey,
Well, why
Nova,
change?
I,
Why
I
change
am
now after
happy to
50
see.
some years?
Yeah, exactly. Nova, I am happy to see you here too, honey. You know you're my favorite, one of my favorites. You know that. You know that. So you come in here, I am more honored than and more happy seeing you than you are seeing me. Trust me. You know.
Well, I don't know too many of your chat members, but hello to everyone out there that I don't know personally.
Well, you know Nicole, you know Bart, right?
Yeah, there's a couple other names, Nova, Prairie. Those names I'm not sure of right off.
Uh, I
If I have
think
met them, I apologize that I don't.
what happened? Sorry, you still there? Terry, you cut out. I got nothing. Yeah, it borked out. Yeah, come back in. You there? All right, I got you on panel, but I have no sound. Please stand by while Terry does tech. While I have this moment, Nicole, I just got the message less than a minute ago that Lori is out of surgery and she is recovering, and she should be home sometime this afternoon. I will keep you posted, and thanks for asking, Nicole. All right,
Is it
now I
working
got
now?
you.
There
Yeah,
we
now
go.
I hear you. I don't know what happened. I mean, I thought because right when your mic went out, I had run to go read a message, and I thought I hit the wrong button, left the chat, stream again.
Well, I'm not sure
And
what
I came
happened. I
back.
lost all audio, so I don't know what happened there.
Well, Jeremy said hi to you, and then he said your mic forked out.
Well, hello, Jeremy. How you doing, man?
I know Jeremy from the Vegas Valley side.
I never tripped into that place very much, Vegas Valley. I heard a lot about it, but I didn't trip in there much.
Joey's not for everybody.
Well, the only time that I think I was ever anywhere near that place, and it was a long time ago, I got accused of trying to bully Miss Mandy. That's been a long time ago now.
Yeah, that's when
Probably
he
3 or
used
4
to
years
stick
ago.
up for Miss Mandy. I don't think he'd be doing that anymore.
Well, somebody was, trying to pick her apart back then, and somehow I got implicated. Of course, it didn't last long because I don't do that shit, and everybody knew it. But it, took a little bit for them to figure that out. That was the only time I ever got anywhere close to that channel.
Like I say this in retrospect, I should have let you and Queen just have at it with Miss Mandy, but I don't think the community would have been as supportive. I think we would have had a lot of back and forth because she still had a lot of defenders. It took the slow crew, the little short bus people, another year to find out the same thing we knew.
Well, but the thing though is, if you have somebody that you believe in, right? You believe this is a great person, like me. You got this guy named Terry. You think he's a great friend, an honest kind of guy, and somebody else that comes along and says, "Hey, Terry's a fucking liar, and he's stealing stuff, and he's being a terrible kind of person." There's no way in hell you're going to believe that until you see it. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to have to jump the truth out.
I would look, maybe not as heavy into it. I'd look and see where you're saying, because you could do that. We all got a little bad side of us, Ain't no one on the internet that says, "Oh, I lived a godly life and never stole, never cheated, never done anything." Bullshit.
Well, I don't know about all that, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only perfect person since everybody else thinks they can't do it. I'm pretty sure I did it. I'm the perfect man. Well,
you're straight and honest, and people can't handle that.
They don't like it much. Everybody wants the truth until you start speaking it, I promise you.
Well, I'm honest too. I'm also the disseminator of TMI.
Right. Well, a small piece of advice for those out there that have easily hurt feelings: don't ask if this shirt makes you look fat. It's probably not a question you want to know the answer to. You know what I mean? Those kinds of questions, just keep them to yourself.
I just tell them that, it definitely makes you look fat.
I always said, no, your fat makes you look fat. The shirt looks fucking great. Think about it now. Only someone who considers themselves fat would ask such a stupid fucking question, right? Because everybody else sees you the same as they did yesterday. The shirt don't matter.
Well, this is a conversation guys don't have. Like, if I stayed at your house one night, right? I came out of the bathroom, I showered, and I put on a pair of jeans. I'm not gonna come out and, Terry, does this make me look fat?
Hey, Terry, how do I look in my new skinny jeans? Not as skinny as I thought, man.
You look like one of those muffins in those tubes.
Shit. Look like
it's like trying to put toothpaste. Yeah, it's like trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Well,
it's just not going to happen.
As long as you don't sit around and separate the 2-ply toilet paper for 2 rows, we're all right.
Hey, I'm still fat. I lost 60 pounds.
60. 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. That's a lot.
Well, when you don't eat, you get depressed, and you know.
Well,
And I'm sure taking my medication again is probably helping.
I lost 50 at one point many years ago.
That's a fucking fit. Just think about it. You bought a 50-pound bag of dog food before, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just think about that. That's a lot of weight. That I would, if you picked that up, that's how much you were lost and was carrying around. I was up to 290. It was all in my upper body. I actually went down a bra size.
Well, there you go. That's something.
Hey, look, it's the little wins in life, right? I can't run a race, but I can go down a bra size.
Well, at least you didn't take that medication that actually gave men breasts. What was it? Risperdal, I think it was. And
I have no idea.
It literally, there were men that had to have mastectomy, sir.
Is that what Chili had? Is that what Chili had?
Well, I think Chili's just got shit for brains. I don't think it has anything to do with medication in his case.
Oh my God, he's actually now. I seen a video on him. I mean, I popped in because that Wrangler shit. He finally went to jail.
Right.
After all this shit, I'm happy to see that. That was a long time coming. I mean, he had a warrant out for his arrest. His marshal would come from, and he thought it was great to do a live stream, and people still sent him money.
Well,
support a murderer. Support a murderer.
But you got to remember, some people believe it, some people don't. It's not like they're going, I'm sending my money to somebody that murdered somebody, and there's nothing you can do about it. Most of those people were not saying that. Most of those people were thinking, he didn't murder anybody, and as soon as this court case is over, the rest of you fools will know it. That's what they're sure. I almost guarantee it. Just like the whole Miss Mandy thing, the whole Chili thing, it doesn't matter who it is. Man, you always have some people that believe them, and unfortunately, to their own detriment, they believe them.
I mean, hell, Miss Mandy was 2 nights ago was streaming with BSBT.
Well, the one thing I've learned. The one thing I've learned, the more these drama channels talk about other channels and about how disgusting they are, the more popular and the more people are going to go watch those channels. All they're doing is making them more important, more relevant, and people want to watch it more often. That's what they're doing by talking about all the bad things about them. It's not helping. You didn't say nothing. Most people never hear it.
Everybody loves a train wreck. Everybody loves a train wreck.
Right. If the rest of the channels didn't advertise it, most of these people would never hear of them. Wouldn't even have tripped through the grass,
Well, you were one of the first people to meet Chili in the beginning. On the YouTube. I mean, I know other people met him in Ironton, but they're not YouTube present as much as you were.
Right.
And you exposed him left and right, even with the greatest Saab, you and Saab with the greatest fake out ever. I mean, I don't think anybody is ever gonna beat that.
I really don't. The only reason it worked out so well, it was because Chili hated me so bad. Right. He hated me so bad for seeing his true colors and telling everybody I knew about it. He hated me for that so bad. That's the only reason that worked so well, is because it was him and me. It wouldn't have worked if it had been anybody else. It had to be me. And that was the only reason it worked so well. He was so emotionally invested in me that it tore him apart. Poor fellow.
And I remember he was sitting in somebody's kitchen later on the night after he found out he was duped. Right? And he was sitting there going, all right, you got me. I can't say anything. You got me.
Oh, that was so funny. He deleted that because what had happened was when he went live, it was 42 minutes, right? 42 minutes, I think it was 42 minutes later, he goes live. Well, we went live right after he went live and started making fun of him while he was making fun of me for being in jail, right? So as soon as he concludes his video, we were still a few minutes behind in it. And it had done got deleted before we could even finish watching it and making fun of it. So somebody called him and told him we were on there making fun of him.
Yeah, he's I mean,
That's a
you
good
know,
question, Nicole. That's a damn good question right there. Maybe a little more
yeah,
conspiracy than you know of, huh?
yeah. I wonder sometimes. I mean, think if you play like, think about it. You make money if you play both sides. Like the guy that made the radars for the police made the radar detectors for the pedestrians and citizens. He made
Well,
both of them.
what I see are some of these channels, and I won't go too deep into who. I think everybody already knows who, clear across the boards, all of them that do it. But it seems like a few of these will seem to be your best friend for a minute, and then as soon as they have something negative to report, they cannot fucking wait to turn face and talk all about you on their live now. How many
Yeah.
times have you seen that happen? Other channels turning against channels or turning against chat members, right? You know, it's
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's disgusting, but it happens all the time.
Well, if you hang out with people who like drama, and if they have no drama on that side, they'll come for you.
Well,
They'll
my
create
advice is
drama in their own family.
if you're going to be running through the drama channels, you better make sure that either your closet doors are locked or you ain't got no skeletons in them.
I ain't
Just
got no
saying.
skeleton.
I don't either. That's the reason none of the drama channels could do shit with me, and my content doesn't give you anything to
Now,
work with, right?
I,
So
I
I'm
do
just
have
that
one
boring.
in my closet. I do have one or two holes that were created by mice over the years. So I'll give you that. I mean, I might have a shirt that don't fit me in there. I can guarantee you that. No, my closets are cleaned out. So
Yeah,
my daughter moved back home last week.
few years back in my life, I had that happen. I had to go to friends and family and rebuild some bridges that I had damn near burnt plumb down, and you know that was the most not fun time of my life. And since doing that, since like coming to terms with who I was that long ago and becoming who I am now, right? It'll
Mhm.
always pay off in the end, but the best thing to do is just go to them, be honest. Hey, if you got to get on your knee and beg forgiveness, who gives a fuck? You may not get it, right? You know, because I didn't get it from everybody, but most people responded pretty quick and pretty well, and it was not as bad as I thought it would be, right?
I-
But when you're
I've
out
done
there
some evil
lying and
things.
trying to manipulate, when you're out there lying and trying to manipulate emotionally and doing that kind of shit to people, you know, it's going to go bad.
Mhm. Well, when I started this channel, uh, and ironically, I ended it a while back on a year anniversary. That was happenstance. It just happened. And then 3 days later, I got my microphone, my Yeti. Uh, but hey, Devo got a sale. I know it didn't help him because we needed two more and things happened, but I was doing it for Devo. But I didn't read the fine print. It wasn't coming from Amazon. It was coming from a third party in China. That's why it took a month to get here. I will say it was top. It wasn't a ripoff. I got everything. The price was good. It just
Do you
had to
like
wait.
do you like the microphone? Is the question.
I got to use it about a half hour just to
Did
try
you
it
like it?
out.
Did it
I
matter?
like it.
Did it make any difference?
But here's the thing: I don't stream anymore, so it's really no use to me. It's sitting in a drawer. I didn't even open the filter up or the you know how Devo hangs it with the
Right.
whatever they call that bar or whatever.
Had it on the stand.
Yeah, it has the boom. I guess the boom.
Right.
Because that's why it looks like a penis on his wall because he's got it. But I didn't open all that because I didn't really need it. It's a solid mic. I mean, there's a weight to it. That thing ain't going nowhere when it's on But I don't stream, so it's like, And then now when I do go on here, I don't even think anybody's gonna like. Yesterday, I had Vic Ferrari showed up, and that was it. I was on here for an hour. I had people watching, but I'm like, why am I gonna hook up my laptop, go through all that stuff, and not even talk to anybody where I could just do it on my phone? I eventually want to turn this into a gaming channel because that's what I do.
Gaming?
I game. Yeah.
I'm not a gamer.
I know.
I have
It's
no
not for
games.
everybody.
I'm so boring. I have no games, man.
Well, here's the thing. everybody's not a gamer here, and I know it might turn some people off, but if I could do both, where it's not just the game's playing in the background, like a video, the sound don't even have to be on, just for something for visual, and then I can still talk to people because it don't matter, you know.
Right.
I play the wrestling games. That's my thing. I used to wrestle. I mean, it's been my thing since a kid, and it's probably why my body's beat up a lot now too. You know, but creating this channel was an upset because without getting into what happened, you know, you never know who to trust here. Sometimes people disappoint you in the worst hard way, and you take it hard. And sometimes you lash out because you're hurt by a close friend, not just somebody you put higher than just an average person coming into your chat, you know.
Right.
I shared a lot with this person, and it hurt, but I move on. You know, I still got you. Have you talked to Queenie? I've called her a couple times.
Talk to who?
Queen
B. Yes. It's been a few days, but yes.
Okay, how's she doing? Briefly, she's all right.
Yeah, she's doing good.
Okay. If
Same
you
old
talk
Queen.
to her, ask her if she can please return my phone call if you do talk to her next couple of days.
Okay. Well, I don't. Now that's the thing about her. I may hear from her once every day for a week, and then I may not hear from her for 3 weeks.
No,
So whenever
That's
she
fine.
does respond, you know, we're not. We don't have.
If you can
But I will tell
remember, I'd appreciate it because
I will send a message, sir.
I think about her often. I know she's got her own issues, and that's one tough girl you ain't fucking with. And you met her.
I did. I smoked a joint with Queen Bee.
I'm jealous. I am fucking jealous.
Spent 3 days with her and Dark Watch.
And you got to jump on a bed in a hotel.
I did, man. I did that. You know what's really funny is that hotel room. I actually walked through it with my camera and did a little video on it. That thing has almost as much square footage as my entire home, and that's a fact. I live in a small place, right? But that room was about as big as the entire fucking place I live. I thought that was amazing. Hell, I had room to pace in the shower.
You're a small person. You're a small person, so
right. You know. There was room to pace in the shower.
Really?
The place just seemed huge to me. You know,
and I bet you jumped as high as you could in the bed, and you still didn't hit the ceiling.
Well, I don't travel, right? I don't really go too many places, and the times that I have, I've stayed in much cheaper, much smaller places. I've never stayed in a place where like it had its own, and this probably sounds dumb to everybody else out there because you all are worldly. I'm not so much. So Dark Watch, I take half a sandwich home after we'd been out that day and turned back to the room anyway. And he said, well, you don't have to eat it cold. There's a microwave in there. I said, no, there's not. He said, they all have them, Terry. I said, I don't know what to tell you. There ain't one in there. Like I've been in the room like all day, you know. So I get back that evening and walk in and of course there's no microwave in there. So I ate the rest of that sandwich cold that evening, you know, just because I was hungry and why not, you know. And so later, the TV's sitting on top of this thing. It's got these drawers in it. You I guess to put your clothes in if you're going to be there long term and stuff. And I walk over and I pull on this thing that I think is a drawer, and it opens up a door, and there's a mini fridge, and the one right beside it. I open that one up, and there's a microwave right beside it. You know, and I had no clue. I mean, I didn't go through there and open everything looking for something. I didn't expect it. So that shows you, how silly and just naive and dumb I can be. There's a lot of things that I just don't know, not things I experience, you know.
Hey, here's the thing. It was like an episode of Beverly Hillbillies, right?
It probably was for everybody in that hotel but
me. He's like, did I die and go to heaven? Am I famous now? Holy shit. But you know what?
I asked them if I could get if I could just rent it. You know, they're just like a monthly project. Just move in, man. This is nice.
You get a job at the hotel as a maintenance guy. They'll give you a free room and board. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I'd have to live in Michigan in a hotel behind another one. The location
Well,
kind of sucked. The room was great.
but you'd have somebody cool to smoke a joint with,
Well, true.
So you gotta weigh your options.
Well, I've got another trip already planned. So, and there'll probably be
Definitely
one
get
more
pictures
before
this
it's over.
time, please.
What's that?
Definitely get pictures this time, please.
Well, I have pictures from last time,
Okay,
but
could you send them to me?
I can,
And you
well,
got
that
you got my phone
I
number.
I have been restricted not sending their faces anywhere, so I haven't done that. They've asked me not to,
Oh, all right. I just
so
wanted
that's
to,
why.
if there was you and Queen. I don't think Queen would matter, but if you need to get her okay, I understand.
I will whenever I message her to uh, check out your messages, I will ask for
Yeah.
that permission. Then I ain't trying to be rude, man. I hope you understand because when
No,
we
I
did it,
understand.
the agreement was, from them, like I don't care to take a picture, Terry, but I don't want this out. And I said, okay, it's just for my
Hey,
personal anyway. So,
you're a man of
but
your
I will
word,
ask.
and I'm not gonna make you go against it.
Well, I can't go against it, man. I can't.
No, I
I'd be,
understand.
I'd be like if I came to your house, man. We had a bunch of pictures or selfies where we'd been out doing stuff, and you asked me not to show
Uh-huh.
them nobody. I wouldn't, nobody, unless you told
Yeah.
me specifically I could.
No, I mean that's that's you, and I respect that. It's just like when people ask you, "Hey, you got Nicole's number?" Yeah, you know Nicole, but let me ask Nicole first if it's okay if I hand out her number.
Right.
You know, and now if I asked her for you, she's like, Terry, yeah, no problem. She knows you, you know what you're all about. But I ask, and that's what people fail.
Well,
Yeah,
the difference between me and a lot of others is I'm out there. I couldn't get any. If you watch my channel, you'll know me inside out, every aspect of my life. None of it was hidden. Right.
are you still doing that? I mean, I don't have my notifications on, so if you've
I
gone live, I
No, I have not
okay.
gone live in I don't even know how long. It's been a while. But Irons and
That's what
Auditors, he's not needed, man. They don't need me babysitting them out there. Like, and I don't know
I
how many
played
more
your song
miles.
yesterday. I played your song yesterday.
I've got
That's a
several
badass
now.
fucking song, man. But that's a badass song.
Yes, it is, and I've got several now, Smitty. I have learned
Oh,
how to AI, so I have done a few of my
all
own
right,
as well.
cool. Clay came around a couple streams ago, about 3
Awesome.
weeks.
You
He's all
know,
moved in. He's all moved in the new house. He loves it. He's like, Smitty, the people are so fucking nice here. I don't know how to act.
awesome. He's
But that's good
he
for
pretty
him.
much
And
quit YouTubing, didn't he?
yeah, he's on Rumble as far as
Yeah.
I know. He was
I
sticking
can't.
there because he was doing better money and no drama like here.
I can't get it to stream for some reason. It'll buffer for 35 seconds, play a couple seconds, and buffer again. I don't know
Are you
why.
doing it on your phone or on a
No,
laptop?
on my PC.
On your PC? Wow.
Yeah.
Because I know last year, when he was making the songs, when he was getting Devo into the Rumble,
Hmm.
Devo checked it out. He said that the app was better on the PC than it had more features than what the phone version had. That I knew.
Well, everything's like that. A PC version's always,
Yeah.
has a lot more
But
options than a phone. But
because the app was new, so they're working they're always working bugs out. I mean, Facebook always changes, YouTube changes, and half the time it's like the change ain't for the better for everybody. It's like now it's worse. Like Discord, it's like how the fuck I get around here now? They're always
I just
changing shit.
personally, miss Clay is all. Conspiracy music.
I do too. I
That
do
was
too.
we spent a lot of hours together there for a couple of
Yeah,
years.
he was a
Me and
big
him and
part in
Doc.
you and Devo. Yeah, yeah, and he was a big part of Devo's channel too. And you were always on there. He supported everybody.
Yeah, and me and
He's a
usually
he's a very
I had him
humble
for six.
person.
I had him for 6 hours on mine. Then sometimes I go over and spend another 6 hours with him on Debo's channel. That was 12 hours. We were trying to support the entire music community. But as far as personally, I just miss Clay. I hadn't seen him or talked to him in a while. Hope
I
he's doing
miss
all right
Doc
out there.
to this day, like I miss Limey. Miss hearing
Right.
those voices. But I remember when Clay and Doc had their falling out. I'm glad they made up and towards the end because that's good for everybody.
Right.
I think. But I never seen Clay fucking yell. And then I go on a stream one day and he's not playing music and he's going ballistic about all the drama. And I'm like, damn, that dude's got a bad side. He can yell if he wants because he's just so mellow, you know, when he talks because he's high and that's his personality. But the dude can fucking throw down. I'll tell you that.
Sometimes there's too much drama involved in playing victim rather than just not giving a damn about the comment and, you know, acting more like an adult and letting it pass, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
that's
mean,
not that doesn't
all,
always happen. You know, it doesn't always
well,
happen that way. Somebody gets deeply offended, and because this person's offended, these 50 people now have to be assholes about it, right?
uh-huh. Yeah,
And it
yeah,
just
yeah.
creates all that shit. Not, you know, and it's just somebody's fucking fee-fees. I mean, nothing really got hurt at all. You know what I mean? Technically.
I,
But, you know,
yeah.
what do you do?
Look, I've been on TikTok and I I met a group of people. Some I'm still friends with, but then all fuck shit happened, and I'm like, this is YouTube all over again. And I told them, look, I'll hang out on this panel. You know, I like everybody here, but I am gonna limit the fuck shit because here's the thing: what I've learned in 4 or 5 years on YouTube, I can tell you I'm gonna gut you like a pig. I can fucking beat your ass. You're a piece of shit. But that's as far as it goes. And how many times am I going to threaten you or you going to threaten me? If we were in person, if we were all meeting at a bar, physically in person, a lot of the drama would have ended the day the drama started. And it would have
Well,
been done with it. And we
as
would have
long
sang Kumbaya afterwards.
as they don't have to pay any consequences for shit, they'll say all kinds of things. But if you're there to
You know,
put your fist through their two front teeth as soon as they open their mouth, they won't be as apt to say so many things, right?
well, and here's the thing: I've done many things that I'm not proud of throughout my life.
Haven't we
And
all? Name
we
someone
all,
who
but
hasn't.
I've hurt physically a lot of people that I still have regrets for, but it was the time. At the time, it seemed right. But as you get older, I really shouldn't have kicked that guy with steel tip boots 9 times in the balls
Right?
where he was pissing blood.
Yeah.
But you get caught up in the moment. You know what I'm saying? A little alcohol, and he slaps a girl in the face. What do you want? You're lucky you're still breathing. And the
Well,
ironic part,
chalking
hey,
up the bad luck on his part.
skip fast forward about 15, 20 years. Them two are married and they have kids, so his penis still works. So I didn't break his penis. And I said to her, I'm like, you married him? She's like, yeah, he's better now and everything's fine. He's a good father. And I'm like, okay, you had a red spot on your face of a handprint.
Yeah, well,
But
you gave him a little more than that. He was apparently pissing red, so I guarantee you, he thought deeply about it. That wasn't something he could wake up the next day and pretend didn't fucking happen, even if he was too drunk to remember it. You know, he's forced to reckon with that one. I promise you.
I remember me and this guy Bill did it. We came back in the bar, and the guy Crockpot Johnny, old fella, he used to make meatballs on the crockpot, sell them sub sandwiches, 2 giant meatballs for $2. Now, when you've been drinking all night, that motherfucker is great. Hits the spot. I mean, he was great, guy. He came in and says, "You guys never left. Sit down. Here, have a shot." And all of a sudden, the cops come in. Does anybody know why that guy's laying on the ground holding his balls? I don't know. Maybe he fell. No, so nobody left the bar, right? This is before cameras were everywhere, too, you know. And I'm like, no, I don't know whatever happened. I feel sorry for him. Yeah, he was in here. He seemed a little drunk. Maybe he fell. Okay, bye. And then close the bar, and everybody's laughing like, "Phew, that was a close one." And you know, they're talking to the bartender too. The one cop, while the other cops asking the bar, you know, had to shut the jukebox off and everything. And it was a Sunday night. Bill's Tavern in Butler, New Jersey. Never forget it.
Prairie said maybe it was the boot to the balls that, you know, made that change in him. And
Yeah, maybe.
Jeremy said they have fish bats. Everybody's got one with them. They use fish bats. There you go.
Hey, I got another cat. I got a cat.
Nice.
Her name
Nice thinking.
well, my Billy died last year. He had mange. He died. He was an indoor-outdoor cat. I went and adopted a cat in October. And there's a funny story behind that, and I think you'll get a chuckle out of it. It was the first time I was out of the house in 10 months. I was feeling the need for. I love animals. You know, cats ain't for everybody. Fine. I like cats. I like calm cats. I don't like the other cat I have that is a bitch. Okay, not all cats are good.
So you like some
cats are
cats.
assholes.
So you
I
like
do
some
like.
cats.
I don't,
Right?
look, even the asshole cats, I don't wish them harm. I just don't wish to own them or care
Right.
for them.
Just don't want to care for them. That's it.
So I looked at the shelter website and they had $40, adoption fee. I'm like, all right, that's fair, considering what they do for that and everything. So my buddy came the day before. Remember that car I had, that Cutlass?
Mm.
It's at his house right now. The floor's rotted out and the frame is rotted in the back. So we're either waiting for somebody for parts, because the parts are good on it for 78, or somebody to, waiting for scrap metal to go up or whatever. So it was sitting at his house. I said to him, can you take me, because PetSmart works with the shelter and they have a $20 adoption fee. And I'm like, it'd be better to go over there because number one, $20 cheaper, which I don't care about. I mean, it's for the shelter. But I know the cats they put there are not going to maul you. They're the calm, friendly cats.
Okay.
And I don't have to deal with all the dogs barking, in
There
the
you go.
shelter. Every cat's going to be skittish when they hear the dogs barking, right? I found her. She's a calico cat, if you know what a calico is.
Yes.
But only her tail's calico. The rest of her is white. They ran out of ink.
Finished her out one color.
Yeah. So I knew what the cat's name was going in. She just fit the name perfect. Her name is Lucille, after the baseball bat, and her tail looks like a baseball bat. She
Be
is
careful, Bart, in the weather out there.
Yeah, I know you've had snow that way up north. Be careful.
We're getting here today.
Oh, you too? They said for us too.
Yeah, it's sneaking through a good portion of the U.S. there.
It was
hit with
fucking
some of the-
75 last week. I was fucking sweating in here. I'm like, damn, my sinuses have been like, fuck you.
According to our reports, we're having snow all day today, tonight, and I think tomorrow, and then it's going to be followed by rain for 2 or 3 days. So, and it already flooded the other day, and has rained since. So, the ground soaked, everything's run off. It's going to be fun for some. I'm glad I live on a hillside, man. I don't have to worry about the depth of the water or the flooding.
Yeah. It's gotten cold here. I've had snow twice. Only like an inch and a half, but in December I had snow. And we hadn't had snow here or even sleet or anything in like 4 years.
Right.
So
there's Vic. Hey, Vic, how you doing? Vic Ferrari.
Vic, you gotta go get a loan for a dozen eggs, man. You gotta get a loan. Go to the credit union.
You at least need a credit reference just to get in the grocery store, I think.
Fuck yeah, Jesus Christ.
I flipped out the other day, man. I had a whole hillbilly goddamn freak out. I was looking at the price of deodorant, right? All I want is something to keep me from smelling,
Yeah.
like I just left a fish market or something. But $6 to $12 a fucking thing. I'm like, what?
Holy shit.
I don't know. I had always been several ahead, and all the ones that I had bought for $1 over the years, because I just use some cheap crap. It doesn't matter as long as they ain't stinking. I'm good. And
You know what I use?
man, you can't find that shit anymore.
You know what I use?
What's that?
Secret.
Yeah, well, the price is why I don't. It's just a goddamn expensive.
Secret is still cheap. I bought like, months ago, I bought like 5 sticks because they were cheap back then. So I'm kind of glad. And I never want to run out of deodorant, right? Even though I don't go anywhere. And I started using Secret because I've tried Old Spice, Axe. I've tried them all. And landscaping, I get to the second, third lawn and I'm stinking already. And one day I ran out of deodorant. So I said to Wendy, I'm like, I'm gonna have to borrow your deodorant. She's like, don't get any hair in it. I'm like, all right, I'll pick any loose hairs that stick to it. Right. So I used it, went to work that day. I was doing mulch and everything. It was like 100 degrees me. Man, I felt fresh when I got to the bar. I'm like, smell my armpit. It still smells like baby powder. This is fucking. And they say it's strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. That's a bunch of fucking bullshit. It's made for a man. And I'm telling you, any man out there that has a problem, don't be ashamed. You're not gay, and it has nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying, it's okay to use it. It works great. Try it. You'll thank me later.
I don't know that I've ever shamed anyone about their about their deodorant brand.
Well, think about it. If the guy came in there smelling like baby powder and he doesn't stink, wouldn't you be happier about that than the guy's coming in smelling like fucking onions and dirty socks?
If I could find it or if I could maintain it, I would have unscented. You know what I mean? As long as I don't smell like dirty pit, it doesn't have to smell like anything. I'm good.
They do have that too. Yeah, but I'm telling you, next time you go, check it out. They have like the little travel size too in Walmart. If you go there, try it out. Give it a shot. It may be nice for you, but maybe cheaper for you too.
I think I'm going to turn all kinds of Beverly Hillbilly and just buy me a 10-pound bag of fucking baking soda and slap it under my arms every so often through the day. What do you think?
I'll just go out in the woods and I'll find a mint leaf, a
mint
leaf, and like, stick that on you there.
Just have to carry me a soapy rag in a bag everywhere I go and yank it out and wipe them. I don't know.
Let me tell you, back in the metal days, the partying days, when money was tight and every money went to alcohol and you lived on ramen noodles for 3 cents, I've used air spray like fucking Glade for my arms because I ran out of deodorant. I'm spraying fucking room spray.
It's awful that you have to decide. It's awful that you have to decide whether you're going to buy a dozen eggs or a thing of deodorant because they cost about the same.
And eggs were cheap back then. I mean, back then I could buy a gallon of milk, 2 loaves of bread, a dozen eggs and a package of cheese for under $10.
Nick said he uses Chili de Castro deodorant because it smells like baby oil and regrets. Diddy de Castro.
And it might smell like a gay porn set too, allegedly.
He was always trying to be half naked around teen girls too, by the way. Always.
How do you think that guy's making money on the side? He ain't making money off selling trifolds. He's making money and going to California and doing gay porn.
I don't know how he makes his money. As long as I don't have to do it, we're all right.
That's why he's obsessed with a butthole. He's a bottom.
Maybe.
It's right there. Right there.
I don't claim to have such knowledge.
I said allegedly. I don't have proof. And I'm not going to go through every gay porn movie out there to see if Chili's in it. Sorry.
Well, I know as a matter of fact, Chili is a liar and a coward, right? That I know for an absolute fact. And in my opinion, he's a disgusting fucking individual. There you go. That's what I think.
Last time I seen anybody cover him, because nobody really cares about him anymore, but they covered him. Gloria, all his top ones left him.
Well, that generally
finally caught on. They finally caught on.
But you got to remember, he had ones before that and before that. See, I was in it longer. You see these people come and go, and it's because they finally catch on. Just like all the people didn't believe us about Miss Mandy, all the people didn't believe me about Chili. Jesus, man, everybody I knew here turned against me because of him in the beginning. I had family members in his chat at times making fun of me.
I didn't know you. I didn't like you because you were Chili. But then when I seen you on Saab one day explaining your story, and remember I came up there and I'm like, I told you, hey Terry, I'm Smitty,
Right.
I approve of what you're doing now, and I told you I commend you for what you're doing, and I told you I'd get you a steak dinner.
Well,
And I did.
everybody at the time, they either thought I was a chili lackey, right? Is what everybody assumed. And then when Chili and I seemingly had parted ways, that caused a huge rift, right? Because people that thought I was a chili lackey, the chili side enjoyed me being a chili lackey, right?
Yeah.
You know, when it seemed like I had turned against their God or whatever, they look at him as, because it can't be human, dumbass. You know, it caused a rift. So I went from and yeah, it was only because of Chili that my channel grew as fast as it did, right? But the problem was I lost all 2,000 of those subscribers damn near overnight, and then rebuilt it into, you know, now it's got almost 5. But you know,
Hey, Prairie, he can barely run. He can barely run, and he's running from the law. That's it. He ain't running from anything else. He ain't running for governor. Not with that record.
There you go, selling flowers.
You know what? I've always wished that he would literally finish something. I mean, Terry v. Ohio. Well, how many years has it been since you got with him? And he still hasn't done a damn thing towards it? Nothing? Think about it.
Right.
And look, I'm going to highlight this because, Terry, you have to take compliments. And Vic Ferrari,
Terry has always been a solid cat to me, even when he was rocking Chili. I know he was trying to do the best for his town, and he would figure that guy out pretty quick. Well, it didn't happen as quick as I had wished, Vic. I appreciate that, and that's what, it doesn't matter who you are out there. I think everybody's known that I try to deal just square and honest with everybody, even if it's bad or embarrassing to me. Right? I didn't take down the videos.
Chili.
I never took down any of my videos. Well, I never took down any of my videos that made me look like a fool even. I left them there. Why? So you all know me, right? I ain't trying to hide who I am. I'm not trying to hide the mistakes I made. I'm not trying to hide any of that. I want everybody to know, as Vic said, I'm just trying to be a solid cat, I guess. I appreciate that.
You've always been. Thanks. And I wouldn't be friends with you if I thought you were none of the above. You know what I'm saying? If you were like Chili, I'd sense it. But as long as I've known you, Terry, and I love truth, I love honest people, and I don't care if you hurt my feelings, because if I deserve it, I deserve it. But that's a friend saying, dude, you're fucking up.
Well, I know that I have a very sharp tongue, right? I don't sugarcoat, because I figure you fuckers eat that too. Right, so I don't sugarcoat much, but my tongue can be so sharp that it can be taken offensively. Right now, my friends give me a lot. Most of the people who know me give me a lot of leeway, because I think they know now that, like, I'm never really. You'll know if I'm just trying to get your goat or be an asshole. That'll be obvious, you know. But generally, in what I say is not meant to offend. Right, I just have a way with words.
You have a nice style, and let me be. Look. Debo, might I say this to you? I don't know if we ever have, but this is me saying it. Debo thinks highly of you.
I know. He and I are very close. Very close. Yeah. I think very highly of him as well. He's like a brother. Yeah,
and he's my brother. And you know what? It was so great talking to him the other, again.
Right.
It really was. It was, surreal in a way. And given... it's a bad situation for anybody to be in, but him acknowledging that I need help was the biggest thing he ever did in his life. And if he never wanted to talk to me after that, realize, yes, Smitty is an asshole, I don't want to be around him, I would have been upset. But as long as I known his head was straight, that's all I would need. That guy, he's still saying, I'm sorry. They haven't knocked that out of him. He's got to be sorry for everything. And look, he's got nothing to be sorry about. He's done nothing to nobody. And when I had my flip out last year, I brought up Debo because that man worked hard in this channel. And he could barely get 10 people in there. And then you get other people that cover auditors that are getting hundreds of dollars every stream just for nonsense. And this guy was just trying to make a living and make people smile. So that kind of pissed me off too. You know, this community can be great one moment and then shithead the next moment. But that's just people.
Well, the thing though is, if you consider, I guess if you consider it your community, you know, I don't know if people thought like that on my channel. I didn't have a community, right? I had people from all other communities. Like we had the biggest goddamn hodgepodge of people on my channel, right? The only thing is we did our best to pledge to get along what time we were there. We could have difference. Hell, we even had Archangel 4, who was a Chile mod. You know, people would get on to the Chile people when they came in, and, you know, and I'm like, leave them alone, man. If they're not bringing up Chile, you don't need to. They're here to support us and be in the group. Let them do it. I don't care if they run with Chile. They'll figure him out. What's that?
Archangel 4. I had heard he passed away.
I think you may be thinking of Arch 3. Because that's a different.
I know. I talked to Arch 4 on Sub's channel.
Okay, all right. I was making sure
he
you
was up there one day.
Yeah.
And I went at him hard because he's a Chile supporter. So right away I went at him.
Right.
But as I started talking to him, like, all right, the guy's misguided, but he's not a bad person. He had a personality. You know?
If you go to his, if his channel's still there, if you go there, he actually has a video that says why I support Chile. And he'd sent me that link, so I went and watched it, and that convinced me very early on. It wasn't for me. It wasn't the fact that he was willing to support Chile. It was just the fact that he was willing to explain why that he thought that he should, and the fact that he supported me in the same way without having any animosity because I hated Chile, right? And because Chile hated me, he never brought that to me. He was a very professional person, even though I disagreed with his line of thinking, right?
Well, I'm going to say
this. Again, another way of proving how often people disagree with me. And like, we don't have to be at odds with each other. We can disagree, right? We can agree to disagree if we have to. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I got to say this. If you did pass, anybody out there, do not change your name to any kind of Archangel because it didn't work out good for 3 and 4.
Well, I don't know.
I'm not going to disrespect 4. I'm not going to disrespect 4, but you know how I feel about 3.
Yeah, well, 3 can suck a dick too, but exactly. 4, if he did pass, then let me give my condolences to anyone who knows him, because I didn't know him any other way than just somebody who occasionally rode in my trunk as we drove the town of Ironton. You know, he would always joke about being locked in the trunk, and we had a great deal of fun and time riding with each other for a few years. So I had a lot of respect for him. I didn't mind him at all. I liked the guy.
Well, I found out the other day watching Shiz's coverage of the, Wrangler thing, waiting for him to get arrested in the courthouse, and he didn't show up. I was watching that stream, and you know that guy Cyrax, that Kate and everybody covered, that wacko guy.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
Well, there was a guy that really went to his house and really messed with him. He was called
is that the one he hit with the bat?
Showbiz Marty or something like that.
I don't know. I just know there was one person that showed up and he went out with a ball bat trying to hit him.
Yeah, I think that's the guy. Shiz announced that he passed away.
The guy he hit with the bat or Cyrax?
No, the guy he hit with the bat, Marty. He passed away. So they had a moment of silence because that day they were Music Biz Marty. Thanks, Jeremy. That's what it was. Look him up. Yeah, he just passed. These videos are out there, I'm sure. But it's a shame. Kid was young. When he was 40s, no more than 50. I don't know what happened. But they had a moment for silence because the same day they were covering Wrangler, his service was being held. And, people still said the obituary was a lie. How do you fake an obituary in a newspaper unless you know somebody there? You got to have proof. You just can't put anybody, somebody died.
You can. No. Actually, I heard you can. You just pay the money and submit whatever you're going to submit. It's up, you know what I mean? Like somebody in the family usually just writes all this down and, you know what I mean? Succeeded by, and, The newspaper
Yeah.
doesn't check; they just post it because they were paid to. It's not like they have that many fake obituaries posted up where there needs to be a check and balance thing. It's not generally a problem. But yeah, I
I
guess
threw
you could
out.
sneak one through. It'd be pretty neat, like if you could get one through, like and then hand the paper to your husband or
Yeah.
something. He gets to read his own obituary that morning. How great would that be?
Well, I thought about a couple of months ago. I finally threw out a pair of boxers that's seen better days, and I thought about doing an obituary for them and a service.
Have a burial.
Yeah,
They've been great pair, man. Been a great pair.
you know, yeah. I mean, he's had my ass every time. He had my back. He covered my ass all the time until he couldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's life, and like I said, I'm trying to undo. I try to be nicer to people, and it's fucking hard because people are assholes. But I try to be nicer to people. I still have a dark side, and that'll always be there. But I'm trying to undo my wrong before I leave this planet.
Let me give you some advice, Smitty. Have you ever noticed that
Give up?
since you love movies and TV references, I'm going to try to give you a good one. All right.
Okay.
You do realize that the most powerful Jedi were always the most powerful, not because they were either the most powerful light or the most powerful dark side Jedi. They were the most powerful because they had an equal balance of both light and dark in their life.
Yeah,
That
and there were some
is how you
great
live life.
Jedi's
You
too.
have to find a balance, right? Whether you want to call it the force, the spirit, find a balance.
Well, I'm just a little lost this past year and a half. I'm navigating life. Yeah, Jeremy's right. The midichlorian count also. That does count. But I'm trying to navigate life. It's like a new life. I mean, you kind of agree right now. You last year your life changed also. I mean, differently than mine, but
Big time.
almost the same. You're by
Big time.
yourself now. Everything is Terry.
Now it's 10 times more boring than it's ever been.
But okay, you don't sit there. You're able to get out. You have skills, and you put that to use because you just have energy to burn. You can't sit still. I get
Right.
it, but you put it to good use. Whether you're driving around with a friend online or you're helping a friend put brakes on. But then when you need brakes, you're like, yeah, I'll wait till I get my check in 2 weeks, and you ask nobody. That's you should. I don't think you should ask somebody. I mean, if you were helping me out all the time and I found out, I'd be like, no, you ain't got to suffer here. Pay me when you can, or we'll work it out down the road. That's what I do with my buddy. And let me finish the story about the cat because it is funny. So I says to him, can you take me to get the cat tomorrow? And he's like, yeah, I'll pick you up after I get out of work. I go to work half a day. I'm like, all right. And here I am outside. I thought he works from 6 in the morning to noon. So I'm outside waiting on the porch for the cat carrier, like a kid waiting for his father to pick him up for his visitation. And then at 12:30 comes and I'm like, he ain't calling me. He ain't doing. Oh shit, he works from 12 to 6. That's right. So I go back inside, hang out. He picks me up. We go down there. He's got a 7-year-old with him, right? Out of his 3 kids, he's got the youngest. And this kid fucking strapped the car down at 7 on the trailer. This kid knew how to do all this shit. I'm sitting back going, wow. Because of his father. He's like wants to be around his father and learn. So we get there. I got my credit card. I said, I want this cat. They said, great. But they don't take credit cards for the payment of adoption fee. You need a check, debit card, or cash. And I'm like, well, I don't have any of that on me. So I'm like, my buddy says, well, let's go to the ATM. You can get cash back on your credit card. I'm like, yeah, I know it's a fee, but fuck it. I'm here. It's the first time out and all this. Well, I go and try it. I assume my code was what my daughter would have set it up to be, but it wasn't. So we're sitting in his truck. I got my phone on my knee. I'm calling the credit card company, right, to set up so I can withdraw the money.
Right.
You get the foreigner on there, and they're reading off a cue card. So I'm talking, and my anxiety is sky high. I haven't left my house in 10 months, and I hate being out, and I want this cat and everything. So the simplest thing ain't working. So I'm getting frustrated, and she's going through the cue cards. I said, can we speed this up? I just want to know how to set my shit up. Sir, you got to go. All right, calm down, calm down. My buddy talks to his son and said, look, it's running later than I thought. And I'm like, sorry. He's like, no. He said, just get in the bath as soon as you get home. Right? He's doing parent stuff. Well, the lady hears him talking and says, sir, I can't continue this call because you're giving out private information and you have somebody else in the room with you. I said, that's my husband. Just like that. He looked at me, his son put his face in the seat, laughing his ass off. And my buddy goes, oh, dear God. And then she goes, okay, I'm sorry. Because nowadays, you can't question that shit. Right?
I guess. I don't like it when you do.
Well, yeah. Well, it worked because I was having a hard time because only one hand. And he says, give him the phone. And I says, can I have him help me? And they're like, if that's your husband, he can help you. You okay?
Yeah, what can we say now?
So I get the $20 out. I paid a $4.95 fee. No big deal. I paid my bill in full, so I didn't have no extra finance charge or anything. We go there. I get the cat. We're driving back. And his wife calls. So he's on the phone. And she's, through the speakers of the car, Bluetooth, right? Hands-free. And he goes, go ahead, tell her. I'm like, oh, yeah, me and Brandon got married. We're divorced now. We're like Chuck and Larry. And she goes, what? And he starts laughing. He goes, I'll tell you when I get home, but he is witty, and he's quick on his feet, and I can't believe he thought about that so fast. I didn't even miss a beat. And I'm like, when you want pussy, you do anything you can for it. But, it's a funny story and it's a great cat. So there's a happy ending all around.
Well, there you go. As long as it turns out the way you originally had it planned.
And
Sometimes
he came to do some work in my house last week. He had to unclog a drain. Now that my daughter's here, stuff is going to get used more. Had to replace 2 outlets, and damn, mobile home outlets are fucking $15 a piece.
Right.
Because they're smaller, because the walls ain't, if you worked on houses, it ain't deep like a regular home, between the outside wall and the sheetrock and the inside.
Right. So
you got to buy those enclosed outlets. And it's like $15. He had to order 2, but I'm like, I need them, And he put a lock on the back door because my doorknob broke, and so he bought a lock set. It was $18, and he put it on. And he took some garbage from me, and he did everything for $50.
Well, there you go.
Part. And he's like, this is too much. I'm like, bro, you got 3 kids. You came here. I couldn't have done this without you. You get paid for it. Because if I would have called an electrician, that would have cost me almost $600 to replace 2 outlets.
Right. I've done a few little things like that for people over the years here and there, and and I didn't do it obviously to make money. Right. It sounds like it. We didn't do it necessarily to make money. We did it because we had the ability and someone needed the help, and it wouldn't have gotten done. Right. And it's not that you feel obligated. You want to help. Right. When you see someone in need. So you do that. And I found that those people, even though they don't have a lot of money, they paid me a hell of a lot more than I thought they should have anyway. And it sounds like he did that. Like, this is too much. I didn't ask for that. I don't. And, but I understand your side. You're so grateful, and feel it's the only way that that you can say thanks other than saying thanks. But I found that most of those people in my life later on have turned out to have a favor or have something that I needed along the way and helped me out a hell of a lot greater than any money they could have paid me, a year or 2 before.
I've known him 14 years. I found we realized that because it was his oldest son's birthday, and when I used to work with him at Tyson, we worked together 4 years. He just went back after he took 2 years off doing his side business, and he still does it, but kind of needed those benefits and some steady money.
Right.
So he went back got his old job back, maintenance. He's a maintenance supervisor. He does all the electricity there, everything. And so I knew I can trust him to change an outlet, because you just don't want anybody changing an outlet, because that can cause a fire if they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Right? So, I mean,
it could probably just cause the breaker to pop.
Yeah, but mobile homes, 25 years old.
Well,
I ain't taking chances.
I don't know if everyone knows this. This is probably I'll put it out, okay? Because they don't write this shit on trees, right? And they don't do TV commercials about it. So if you don't know, you don't know. But the breakers in your breaker box, you should replace those somewhere, every 5 to 7 years. You should buy new ones and replace them. The reason is because some of them get old and they won't maintain contact, and some of them they fuse together over, they're locked in that position for so many years that even though they should have kicked off, they can't. And because they can't, it will burn the house.
That makes sense.
That's what happens in a lot of homes, right? And a second thing, while we're on the breakers, if you have a breaker that keeps popping and it's a 15 amp, do not go get a 20 or a 25 or even higher amp breaker and put in there. All you're doing is allowing too much amperage through your wall, and you will set the house on fire, right? It's rated for that. It's rated for a certain amount of amps. It's about the breakers, or it's about the breaker protecting the wire. It has nothing to do with running your hair dryer. Use a different outlet.
The wiring won't handle that new breaker.
Right. It will literally start to burn, and over time, it'll set it on fire. Sure will.
That makes sense. Because remember the old cars with the old fuse box, back when the bus fuses, came in those tubes. You had that little grabber to put them in.
Right.
I always thought, hey, I keep blowing this fuse, so let me put a bigger fuse in. Well, I blew that one too. That's not the problem.
Well,
yeah,
the
everybody, the tips you're getting here, I am not a contractor. I'm not certified, but I stand by what Terry says, because he does this on a daily basis, and no houses have burned down yet. So you can always check with somebody, but if you ever have a household tip, and hell, if you live close enough, I'm pimping you out, Terry. If you live close enough,
I can hillbilly almost anything. I can do it on the cheap and do it really good. But the problem is with electric and plumbing, those two things you can't hillbilly. You can't fuck around with it. You'll find out, I promise. No. You'll flood yourself or you'll burn yourself down. So those are two things that absolutely if you have me around and you want my advice, you're going to do it up to electrical code, or we're not going to fucking touch it, because somebody's going to get hurt or dead. That's not plumbing and electric.
And I'm not going to fuck with it.
I
don't argue with people that much in that. No. Not at all. I'm still trying to figure out what clogged my sink was a Brillo.
Huh?
And there was a Brillo in the elbow on my kitchen sink.
How the fuck did it get past your drain?
I don't know. And my drain is not a solid hole down. It's got those 3 little vents, and then I have one of those, food collector little things above it. I came in the kitchen and I'm like, he's laying on the floor. I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh man, he said, I put the Brillo outside. He said, that fucking thing stunk worse than Tyson. I'm like, wow, that bad? He's like, dude, I don't know how long that was in there. I don't know how that got in there. I don't know. Full of my crack pipe.
That was the chore boy out of the tire gate. That's what happened there.
I keep my Brillo next to I don't put my Brillo on my crack pipe near the sink. Just so you know. It was just one of those things that make you scratch your head and go, well, son of a bitch. And he tried snaking it. He's like, I'm snaking it, going, why the fuck is this kid going through? So he says, I figure, okay, the house is old, 25 years of buildup. Let me take the elbow off. He's like, God damn, right there was the Brillo. He said, I never would have pushed it through with the snake. It just would have got lodged somewhere else. You know, it still was intact. It was one of those Scotch-Brite, not the Brillos.
Even knew which brand.
Yeah. Well, that's what I asked him. Is it Brillo or Scotch-Brite? Because regular Brillo, those things rust, and probably over time the water would have rusted it away. You would think, but the Scotch-Brite, those shit last forever.
I have a funny story about a chore boy. If you want to hear it.
Sure.
From a stupid, uneducated, unworldly hillbilly, right? One day I go into the cigarette shop. I'd been buying the cigarettes there for a long time, this little tobacco shop over in Russell, Kentucky. So I walk in, and that day as I'm talking to the lady and she's bagging up my cigarettes, I look over and there's chore boys, right? These scouring pads. I see these scouring pads on the wall, and I'm thinking, what the fuck do they sell those for? So I asked her, I said, ma'am, can I ask a question? She said, sure. I said, why do you sell chore boys at a cigarette shop? She goes, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? And I'm like, well, fuck, how would I know? And why are you being a bitch? You know, like, what the fuck do you sell them for? She said, you know what the fuck we sell them for? So I just I just snatched my shit out of her fucking hand and walked out the door. Like, I don't know what the fuck, this crazy, that's the dumbest thing. Why would you? I'm trying to figure out why the fuck they sell them. I honestly didn't know. And she's like getting on to me like I'm some kind of dirty guy. And I found out later that apparently for anyone who doesn't know, because I didn't, I was totally educated. Apparently you tear pieces of a Brillo or a chore boy, preferably because it has no soap, you poke it down into something so you can smoke your crack on it, right? It's like a crack filter now. And I had no fucking clue whatsoever as to, I just thought it was odd that they would sell chore boys at a cigarette shop. It made no sense.
Yeah. It don't fit. It's like walking in there and they're selling eggs. It's like, why are eggs being sold in a big shop?
She acted like she was mad at me because I called them out. I didn't even know I was calling anybody out. I didn't know.
And even if you tell me, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to rat you out, whatever. I just want to know from my own thing.
Well, fuck, apparently she felt everybody already knew anyway, and it was ridiculous. I probably was the only person who didn't know, Smitty. Oh, you guys are laughing at me. I probably was the only person left that didn't know.
I can picture you walk out of the store talking to yourself. Oh, I want to know what a fucking buy you were selling chore boys, you fucking bitch. I mean, Jesus Christ. I come in here, I gave you money, I bought some shit, I asked you a simple question, you bite my fucking head off. Fuck you.
Well, I've gotten interesting reactions from all kinds of people depending on the questions I ask and the locations I am, because there's just shit I don't know, right? There's just things that I may seem dumb as fuck because I do not know certain things, until I know. I never smoked crack. I never was into hard drugs. I didn't know how to do it. I don't even know what the fuck it looks like, let alone how to smoke it. I've just been told these things. So
well, the time I'm around crack is when I bend over. That's as close as I come to crack.
Were you on my stream the night they were talking about a bubble, and I didn't know what a bubble was? Because at first I thought they said bubbler. The cops, they had found a bubbler, and I thought that meant like a humidifier, some kind of humidifier you put on a pipe or something, right? Turn it like to a bong or something.
I don't even know what a bubble is.
Well, a bubble is a glass straight pipe with a bubble on the end that they generally smoke like crack or meth in, I guess. But I didn't know that, right? And Eugene's laughing at me. The guy Ray's laughing at me, making fun of me because I don't know what the fuck a bubble is. So,
Eugene, of all people, is laughing at you.
Yeah. Well, I had to ask the cops at the end. I'm like, hey, guys, when you are done here, can I scoot up here and get a picture of what, get the video on what's on the hood in case there's anybody else in the chat as stupid as I am so we can all see what a bubble looks like. Right? Because I honestly, I never knew they called that shit a bubble. I don't know all that lingo.
Well, see, that's what I liked about your cop interactions. You stayed out of the way, but when everything was said and done, the cops knew you, and they didn't mind talking to you. And after everything's clear, you walk up to him before he leaves, and you're asking him, what happened, stuff like that. And they're cordial with you, and it's like, okay, everybody learned something. It doesn't have to be drama all the time.
Well, here's the thing: if you see a cop,
a midget spinner.
well, if you actually were out and you seen a cop violate someone's rights, right? I mean, they didn't kill them or beat them and all that shit, but they violate someone's rights and they're going to jail. Would it be better to try to handle it right there on camera, or just make sure it's all documented on camera and handle that shit with the judge?
Yeah,
and they're going to jail anyway. Yeah. The only question is whether or not you're going to join them on the ride, right? There you go, midget.
Let me ask you something. If you're in a car with your Eugene, right, and the car breaks down on the side of the road, and let's say you're not mechanically inclined, you only know basic stuff, right? Let's just say that for the sake of the argument, because not everybody is mechanically inclined.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Sit there and argue for an hour what's wrong with the car when none of you may be right, or are you just gonna wait till the mechanic sees it?
Right? Depends on who you're talking about, but I've seen cars full of people argue for hours.
I know.
Then they call me.
It's the same thing. But you know, it may not be a great analogy, but it's kind of like the same thing. It's like, look, they ruined their own evidence by acting like an asshole. So you can't even show the evidence. Like, your evidence can be shown in a courtroom with no cursing, no foul language, no nothing. Just filming what's happening, asking simple questions. Any legitimate, level-headed judge can look at that and judge from your video. That was great. They destroy their own videos by their egos. You don't come in there with an ego. Now, if a cop does get loud with you, you are not afraid to speak up and say, look.
Right.
But you don't go looking for it. You don't create it. You let everything happens organically. Like, if you weren't there, that's how everything might have happened. You might have changed how that cop acted. You never know. Just by the camera being there. You have a fucking Zoom. You don't have to be up the guy's ass smelling his fucking butt.
It certainly looked like it at times, didn't it? I could get right up in there, and they would let me. They would let me close, but you know, I mean, hell, I'd been out there doing it for years. They all knew me, right?
But they had respect for you because you never got in the way.
Well, I never see. The thing is, when I was inside the car, the video was all about me because it was just dead air and the streets rolling by, right? So I had to fill all of that time, and the only way I knew of doing that was being my little self. But when I got out of the car and interacted with anybody, if you notice, it was never about me at that point. You know, it was about what was going on the stop. So I didn't have a whole lot to say. Occasionally, I would try to narrate what I seen, and I would try my best to respond to the chat when I could. Otherwise, if you notice, most of my stops are boring. Why? Because all I'm doing is showing you what's there. I'm not trying to be part of the thing. I'm not trying to show you the hero of Ironton Auditor. I'm just showing you that Ironton Auditor's behind the camera, showing you what's actually happening. Right? Without my influence, this is what's going on.
Yeah. And you take it from there. I mean, everybody's got their own style. I mean, as these people are still around doing it, and new ones are coming up, and they're getting dumber and dumber. It's like that movie with Michael Keaton, Multiplicity, where he kept on cloning himself, and it got dumber and dumber as he went.
I was reminded of Idiocracy.
Oh, well, that's the world, but yeah, that's a documentary now.
Yeah, well, it had to start somewhere. You know, it seems like it's starting right here in the good old U.S. of A.
Exactly. Now, Terry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, and I'm going to be as fast as possible, but I have to go to the bathroom, and so does my dog. Do you think, hey, anybody here want to come and keep Terry company before I go? I have the power to let you up before I walk away. If not, Terry, you're going to have to dance or play some kind of game or something.
My tiger's doing his best to balance my lens there. I don't want it to fall, so I think we'll leave dancing out. I don't want to break my INA up there, but I'll talk to the chat. If they'll respond. If not, I guess I'll talk to myself.
I appreciate it. I'll be right back.
All right, who we have left with us out here? I see Jeremy. Prairie might still be out there. Or anybody left out there, guys? Since he left me here. wasn't prepared with with anything just to talk about, obviously. Not that you guys want to hear it anyway, I would imagine. I wish I knew what the hell to talk about, Smitty. I ain't got nothing, man. I'm a boring little guy these days. Helped a friend with some plugs and coils yesterday. Not exciting at all. Hey, there's Prairie says I'm here. Well, good. At least I'm not completely alone up here then, huh? Yeah, Ironton didn't. Chili left out of here. He had allowed so many people um, to say things, and he had made so many accusations when he left here. Whenever I went in there, I did not. It wasn't about exposing corruption necessarily.
I'm
It's
back.
just I'd heard these same stories and thought I was going to go find out if that shit was happening or not, right? And what I found was, yeah, most of that wasn't happening exactly the way as described, and most people will stretch the truth a bit. Unfortunately, when pressed for the proof of said claims, that is where it almost always fell flat, right? That's why there wasn't a lot of corruption exposed because, it's just people's stories. Some people, they get in trouble, they keep getting in trouble, they got a rap sheet twice as long as I am tall. And,
Mhm.
they're always in trouble. So, yeah, the cops treat them like shit. Why? Because they know the motherfucker's got drugs on him. They've been catching him now for 15 years of his 25-year life, right? You know what I
Victim
mean?
mentality. Victim mentality when you created the victimhood.
Right.
It's not like,
Right.
you got no drugs on you. You're not doing anything and you're driving on the street. If they keep picking on you for small little insignificant stuff, that's harassment because you're not doing anything. You don't have a record. But like you said, you start building up a record like all these frauditors. It's
Well, when you
funny.
call it, you know how they always say reasonable suspicion, right?
Yeah.
Now that's different from reasonable suspicion of a crime, of course, right? But certain people, it's reasonable to be suspicious, right, of certain activity, especially a guy chasing the cops around with a camera, because a lot of these guys, even though they like to pretend like they're the hero, they actually have some bad intentions. They're looking to trip the cops up. They're looking to piss them off, right? They're looking to do anything they can do so that they can cause an interaction that makes the cop look bad and makes them look like they're championing some kind of goddamn freedom out there, like a freedom fighter. What it is fucking embarrassing to anyone who's a real man with real courage, right? I think so. I think it's a goddamn embarrassment for these men to get out there and act like that. That's why I didn't do that. I just stopped the other day, man. I was in town and they were on a traffic stop, and I pulled up there and sat in the car until they got done, and they were standing there in front of their car still talking. So I got out and talked to a couple of the IPD officers the other day. I had about a 15-minute conversation with them. You still there? No. So anyway, it's not that we're not buddies, we're not friends. They're not friends of mine, right?
1 minute, Terry. I'll be right back.
Sure, go ahead, man. So they're not friends of mine, no. But I could walk into the police station at any time and ask for any one of them if they were there. They would come out to see me. I have earned enough respect. It's not like I'm some kind of hero and they don't treat me like it, right? But they do treat me with respect because we have a working relationship, right? In the beginning, some of them were really nervous, and there's a couple of the new ones that, if I show up, it just makes them nervous to know that someone's standing there with a damn camera, even though they got one on their chest, right? It would do me the same, right? If I were a cop or I were trying to focus on doing a job, it would make me nervous to know someone's over there videoing me doing it, right? I mean, I wouldn't give a shit, but some people, they, especially if you're I guess if you're a cop and you typically could be worried about getting shot or whatever. you know, and I know that doesn't happen as often as you know, as some people say, the statistics aren't as high, but here's the thing: you never know when it's going to pop off, right? Even had an incident one night on my own channel where, you know, we thought for a minute Eugene had literally just been shot in the face by a suspect they were chasing because we got too close, right? So, you know, I learned early on that any situation could pop off dangerous. They aren't lying about that, right? They have to be ready for anything. So if you're out there creating too much of a problem, yeah, they're going to get pissed off and egos might fly, but, you know, it's because you're jerking on emotions and, you know, you're getting into that adrenaline dump, right? That the cops got to deal with. That's not a bad thing. That's a bad thing to step into if you can manage not to, you know. Don't step into a man's fear and then, you know, might play out bad. So anyway, because I didn't do any of that, and I think mainly the reason they never bothered me, the first reason, I think Chili wore them out. I think him just being an absolute disgusting human to them. I think that because I just pointed the camera on them, they allowed it, right? They, you know, it was a good it was a good change, you know, and it developed
Hi,
into mutual
Terry,
respect.
I'm back. Sorry. I'm
That's
back.
no
I didn't make a
problem,
good
sir.
job, but I'm back. My daughter came in. She was up. She works
can
from
have
home, so
You can have it back, man. I was just rambling because I didn't know what else to
no.
do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, she moved back a week ago.
Oh, well, welcome back. Welcome home.
You know what was ironic? She hadn't lived here since 14 years, right?
Mm.
And her room became my museum of toys and collectibles, and was my man cave.
Right.
And then after the stroke and Wendy passing, I just became a room of half-filled totes and just piles of stuff.
Right.
And she moved back, and she had to get 10 totes to put all my stuff in, and it was pretty ironic. Here's my daughter cleaning her old room of her dad's toys, when I used to tell her to clean her room of her toys. It was just funny, but I got a nice storage unit for $50 a month.
You know
I
what's
like
going
it.
to be funny is the first time she sends you to your fucking room.
Hey,
Dad, you get your ass to your room. You ain't going to be
yeah,
acting like
hey,
that.
I got no problem. I got everything I need in here. I mean, if it wasn't for, I mean, I got a rice cooker in my room now and a coffee pot and a microwave. I didn't even have to go to the kitchen, really. All I need is a little refrigerator, and I'm fucking set.
There you go.
I'm going to try to get Trump. I mean, let me tell you something. A 2-quart rice cooker on Amazon, $30 is the best fucking thing you can buy. You cook pasta in it. You can make pancakes in it. It comes with a recipe book. I sit here while I'm gaming or doing paint by numbers, and I'm making fucking rice right next to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have some. Boom.
I always said I wanted
I
a
live like a
man chair.
bachelor now.
What do you think about my idea of the man chair? The man chair it has to be fitted to you, right? It's got to be special. So it's going to be a recliner. It's like Taylor built, man. So you're going to have a cooler in one side, right? You're going to have a way to store warm or hot food on the other side. And the center, the way it's designed, the cushion just pulls back and it becomes a shitter. That way you don't even have to get up. You just go right there, hit the flush button, and go back to what you were doing. What do you think?
Jeremy, sometimes I make the white rice. Sometimes I put a little salsa. Sometimes I put butter. The pasta, I will put cheese sauce, or I will, the long pasta ain't good because you got to break it up to fit. I use the spirals, and I use cheese sauce or regular spaghetti sauce. Some call it gravy. I don't call it gravy. Gravy's what goes on turkey. I don't care whatever people say.
I thought gravy went on biscuits.
Yes, gravy on biscuits. Now, I'm going to say I never had gravy and biscuits until I moved down south, and I'm a little upset I didn't know about it sooner.
All right.
You
That's
cannot go wrong
right there,
with country gravy on some biscuits. I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on a cheap thing, you can go with country gravy. If you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I mean, if you need, to fill yourself up on some biscuits, I me That's some good energy right there.
Yes, it is, and it'll stick with you most of the day too.
Yes, yes, yes. So I look. I don't, I don't know. Even being here 20 years, I mean, I've learned to adjust to the customs, and as the world changed, I'm actually in the place I want to be because I'm surrounded by guns. People that are not afraid to defend their property or yours,
Right.
and just want to be left alone, pretty much.
I live in one of those places too, man. There are all kinds of
And
those
that's a
small town
beautiful,
USA places, man.
yes,
That's what
and
most
that's a
of us are.
beautiful thing. And if you get the right neighbors, all you need is one. You know, they got my neighbor next door has got my back, and I got theirs. You know, I help them out when they can, and they help me out, and I
It's
pay them.
always good
Yeah.
to get to know your neighbors. You don't have to like them, but you never know. Cooperation may depend on them someday.
Well, they may not like me, but they help me out. So
Right. See,
that,
around here, I'm kind of lucky because I was born and raised here, and so were my parents and my grandparents. Right. So, but the thing is, it wasn't just me; it was everybody else around here. Everybody that lives here around me has lived here, longer than me. We've all known all of our great grandparents knew each other, grandparents, my parents, and now us. We're generational, so it's a little
you
different here.
can't break that because once you break that cycle, man, that
Right.
takes away the heart of America. I mean, you got to think if you go back in your family tree, how much. I'm sure there was bad shit done. Everybody's got that, but the camaraderie, I can't say a word if I said it right. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's all about community, man.
Yeah, community. I guess
It's about
maybe that's the
cooperation.
word.
You don't have to
Yeah,
be the best of friends, but if that guy's got the eggs and you got the milk, you both got what you need. It's called a trade. You don't have to like. It's not about going out to the bar and hanging out or swapping wives or nothing. Like, you know what I mean? It's just
but
community.
here's the
You
thing.
help those
You may
around you
you
because they need help. That's the only
but
reason you do it. That way, when you need it, they'll help you. Simple.
you you might have your little disagreements, but somebody rolled up on your house that was gonna kick your ass. Your neighbors are gonna go. I'm putting that along the side. You ain't fucking touching Terry.
Right. Right.
You know. And then you can go back to arguing about where everybody's property line is and your leaves going on their lawn,
Right.
right?
Right. Our
But
personal
when push
arguments
comes
are
to
ours.
shove,
But
hmm
it has
exactly.
nothing to do with me wishing bad on you just because we disagreed. Right? We can have a difference of opinion on almost anything. I don't have a problem with that. Right? But we
Yes,
don't have to
Prairie,
hate each other
Prairie,
necessarily.
and Prairie. You know, man on the stove. You know, I'm going to tell you. I know you're old school, and I respect that, but these rice cookers make the rice perfect.
My rice
I'm
is
just saying.
perfect anyway. What's not perfect about rice?
Well, I don't have a stove that works,
Well,
so
that would help. Yeah, you do need a way to heat the water for sure.
yeah. Now I bought myself. Well, my daughter bought me a skillet and a George Foreman grill. And anybody out there, stop buying your meats at Walmart. Even the chicken is fucking rubber. Don't buy the Walmart brand.
I think I'm
Buy
gonna
it
have to go back to
Purdue.
hunting.
Yeah, I'm serious.
I
Because let me
hate to
tell you,
hunt, but I think I'm gonna have to start doing it, man.
the last tenders I had from Walmart, the fucking dog didn't even want to eat it. I couldn't chew it. It was just
But
rubber. And then when I gave it to the dog that I'll eat anything, he spit it out and he looked at it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. If the dog don't like it, then there's something fucking wrong with it. And I switched to cube steaks, Black Angus. Oh my God, what a fucking difference. And I went to Purdue chicken. Oh my God, what a difference. The Walmart, I mean, the shit going on with the foods and everything and the red dye and them trying, our Fruit Loops are different than the UK. We know that from the people we talk to. The food's different. Even Debo, I talked to him about it the other day. He's
well,
been to the States.
the thing is the United States of America, as such, has zero fucking problems with them feeding us chemicals and shit that they know for a fucking fact are causing all kinds of harm and death and all kinds of stuff. But the
Yeah,
FDA,
and they give you medication.
our Food and Drug Administration, right? They seem to not care. They don't give a damn. They pass everything, and then when it causes a problem in 2 or 3 years, then they'll make them pull it off the market and allow you to sue. So you get 10 grand out of it. The lawyers take 8 grand of that. You're stuck with $2,000, and your ass still leaks. Welcome to America. Goddamn, vote for the right one, or we'll be eating poison, dumbasses.
Hey Terry, that would look good on a shirt, and your ass still.
Ain't that about right, man? I mean, you know, if you see them commercials on TV, all these goddamn medications, right, and they give this whole list of side effects at the end, right? I've had people sitting in the room with me go, I want to try that. And I look over at them and go like, did you not hear the bad? They're like, yeah, but that don't happen to everybody. I'm like, yeah, but once it happens to you, what then? Right? How do you know until you've taken it? Are you really willing to bet it all that your ass won't leak in a week? Because when it does, it's going to suck for you because it won't go away just because you quit taking the medicine. That's the problem. Or eating certain foods. Like they're just poisonous and they're doing it on purpose. They know it.
I get my medication at Walgreens, right? And I got a courtesy call one day from the pharmacist. I guess they pick you at random. They give you the opportunity. Do you have any questions about the medication you're taking? I'm like, I've been taking them for 3 years. If I didn't ask you anything now, I mean, I really don't have any questions. But
NPC.
the guy, I was gonna get to that. That's a gaming thing, Jeremy. I love it. But anyway, he says, "Are you allergic to any medication?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, sir. I haven't taken every medication." And then there was silence, and he goes. He just burst out laughing. He goes, "That's the funniest thing I heard in a month or more." He goes, "I never thought about it that way." He's like, "Really? Yeah." He's like, "Can I use that at the next pharmacist? When they have their convention, can I use that?" I'm like, "Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Tell him Smitty told you that." That's true. I haven't tried any medication. I showed up for a drug test one day. I'm like, "All right, what do you need me to test?"
Jeremy said Ozempic has been making people go blind and get massive bone thinning. I have heard that from a lot of sources too. But that's the problem. Everything that they give you just causes something else. If you ever notice, if you get on anything they consider a maintenance medication, you'll be lucky to ever dump it, according to the doctor. The simple stuff like Prilosec and Nexium, all those things they give you damn near your whole life, every day, forever for acid reflux. Have you ever read that stuff? You're not supposed to take it anymore in 14 days. No more than the maximum dose straight for 14 days. And I don't know, they had me on it for years. I didn't know either.
Now, getting back to what he was saying, Ozempic. Now, when Wendy was still alive, my doctor switched me from metformin, the regular metformin, to Ozempic. It was a 1 shot a week, like a do it on every Sunday, and told me what I might experience, right? And Wendy, she like, try it, I'm like, okay, I'll be a guinea pig, pincushion. I did it the second week, and I said, no more. I said, it's making me fucking nauseous. Everything I eat, I'm freaking throwing up. No wonder why people lose weight. You can't keep anything down. I was like, this is worthless. It's causing more problems than what I had before this. I'll lose my weight on my own, and I did. I've lost weight, maybe not healthy, because I still eat a bag of fucking M&Ms or Milky Ways. I'll devour a lemon meringue pie. I did it over the weekend. It's like air. It's so fucking good. I'm sorry. Everybody's got their vice.
It don't take as long as it does to cook the rice, does it?
No. But I don't understand why
almost every commercial. You're right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they shouldn't even be marketing it to the people who aren't smart enough to know any fucking thing anyway, evidently.
And
the doctors,
Terry,
I've walked into my doctor and asked them about certain medications I've seen on TV, and I've had them look at me and not even know what the fuck I was talking about. They had to go look it up. I hadn't heard of
And
it yet.
if you
That's
don't know,
crazy.
Prairie's in Canada too. She's from Canada. So she's speaking from the Canadian side.
Well, hello, eh? I don't know if they find that offensive. I always do that with Debo.
No,
I end
no,
up saying a lot more than he does just because it's funny. You know?
Prairie's got skin of an armadillo.
We'll need it around me, guarantee it.
Oh hell, she still comes to my channel after all, you know, she still comes back for more. You know, in the beginning, you know where I met Prairie? On Audit Vim's channel. When he was first came around, Audit Vim.
Which I know the name, but I'm not sure who that is in my head right off. Who the hell was
I think he's Palestinian. He goes around and he's like, you must comply. Dr. Dave used to go after him, still does. Apparently, I see a video here and there. If you heard his voice, you would know, I think.
Probably,
but anyway,
probably.
I went into his chat making fun of him because the shit he does is freaking weird. Prairie defended him back then. Then Prairie came along into Vegas Valley. I didn't really say much to her, and then one day I went on panel and I was talking about my stroke. And then one day she came on panel and she asked if I would come up there. She had a stroke. And Prairie, I'm putting it out there because you did put it out. If you want me to stop, I'll stop. But that's all I'm going to say. You had a stroke. We had an hour and a half conversation. Jeremy was there. Joey fell asleep. And Jeremy sat quiet and we had a nice conversation, sharing information about the stroke, you know, and stuff like that. And we walked away good friends.
It is interesting how life can throw you together and the weird reasons or circumstances in which you can make a new friend, isn't it?
And I think over time she realized how ridiculous. I mean, at the core, everybody sets out for a good thing, but it's how you let it pan out. Sometimes it gets out of hand and it ends up being a chili. And that's just a clusterfuck. That's a walking abortion.
That's why it's better to be real the entire time and not try to lie. Not try to make people think one thing when it should be something else. Just go ahead and take your stripes, you know.
Because we both hated Dr. Dave. That's right. Because Dr. Dave, look, I didn't like one of them. I don't like a lot of people on there. But look, if somebody's right, I don't care who. If Chili's right, I'm going to say he's right with that. I got to admit, he's still an asshole. But what's right is right. And if I don't,
but how often does that happen?
Oh, rare. It's a rare thing. You got a better chance of Bigfoot having dinner with you.
Right.
You know, and, you know, like Vegas Valley, me and Joey, we learned to exist. He knew my limits. He knew what I would put up with. When he went on his rants, I left the panel. You know, and he dealt with my sarcastic comments in the chat. Right? But I never turned on him. I never betrayed because I am a big believer in trust and my word. Now, I will make mistakes. We all do because we're human. Or like my cat likes to say, human. But if we can admit our mistakes and learn from them, yeah, Dr. Dave brought us together because what happened, all of them had a fire at his house. Now, Terry, you may hate this guy as a frauder. I know you don't know him, but just saying, this guy had an extensive vinyl collection, stuff that can never be replaced. When he was going through all his he was into the mixing, you know how they mix stuff and all that. He had a lot of pricey equipment. He lost everything.
Ouch.
And Dr. Dave was still kicking him when he was down. And I said to Joey, I said, this is fucking bullshit. And Joey started going after Dr. Dave, and I jumped on there. I'm like, look, I mean, I like what you do, but we have a common enemy that needs to be stopped. It needs to be put in his place. And then that was a clusterfuck. I'm a friend with Dr. Dave. Now we're against Dr. Dave. I'm friends with Dr. Dave. You know how that goes, the roller coaster. You know, 1 minute you're friends, next minute you're hating on each other. That I didn't get into because I stay solid. Look, if I don't like you, until you change my mind, I'm going to never like you.
Right. Right.
And there's certain
And if
things
I do
people
like
do.
you, and if I do like you, a simple disagreement isn't going to cause me not to. It's going to be a deeper issue that ain't going to be fixed so easy.
Well, when you shit on people when they're down, I mean, this is the internet, I know, but look,
The only
I
the
don't
only
wish.
person I've ever poked when he was down was Chili, and that's just because he deserves it, in my opinion.
Well, I I'd say I would defend Chili on that if he had that happen, but the motherfucker don't own anything. So even if he was in a house that burned down, it's not even his house. He don't own a damn thing.
Well, I would have no reason to make fun of him because his house burnt down, right? I'd still call him a fucking coward and all that, whether his house burnt down
Exactly.
or not. You know, that's what I'm saying. I don't,
I mean, he
but
walks around all his clothes, either it's his merch or he takes clothes from people. Remember, he walked around with Tina Slade's jacket on, and then he
Right.
had that multicolored jacket. I don't know who the hell he stole it from, but he kind of did them a favor. But now he walks around. He got arrested in that jacket. I'm sure they were making fun of him.
Well, the thing
I
is I never set out truly to make fun of Chili. I only did that generally on my channel when people brought Chili up. I didn't have too much to say about him, right? He's not my favorite topic or not my pick. You know, I didn't
well,
just pick people to make fun of or pick people to say, "Hey, you said or did that." You know what I mean? I tried to stay out of the drama roller coaster.
you don't have to give Chili credit, but I do give him a slight credit because the motherfucker fails at everything. He couldn't even hammer a nail into a tree, yet he keeps trying.
Well, he introduced me, luckily, because of the Ironton Auditor channel. I've had the opportunity in the last 4 or 5 years to talk to thousands of people. And out of those thousands of people, I was able to garner hundreds of people into a network that I can contact anytime, day or night. And out of
Yeah.
those hundreds of people that I managed to get into that network, I actually found a few, less than 10, who are now personal friends who I maintain, if not at least a weekly contact generally. You know,
That's
there are
good.
people out there that and so while Chili, didn't mean to do any of this, the only thing I can accredit him for is getting me to stick my head out from under my rock and ride his
We may not,
coattails for a minute. And I
we may
met some
not,
wonderful people doing it. Some wonderful people.
me, you, Debo, Queen may never have met if
Maybe
you
not.
didn't meet
I couldn't
Chili.
imagine it. You know why we
You
wouldn't?
know,
Because I was, no one knew who I was. Not,
right.
not YouTube-ish anyway.
I mean, we're nobodies on YouTube. I mean, Queen somebody by herself, but we're not a. I'm not a YouTube name. You know what I'm saying? That goes around. I mean, somebody might mention me. She's
Well,
Snoop.
hell, man,
But
I'm
that's
not.
about it.
I'm only known in certain circles, man. 90% of fucking YouTube ain't never goddamn heard of Ironton, let alone Ironton Auditor. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about Chili. They ain't heard of a First Amendment auditor yet. You know what I mean?
I've
It's not
talked to
like all
people
of
from
YouTube
Ohio that
is.
don't know where Ironton is.
Right. Well, there's still people in Ironton that still don't know who the fuck Chili is. They still ain't never heard of him. That's how big of a deal he made. Some people have
Huh?
still never heard of the motherfucker. So,
Yeah.
and they know me only because they drive through town. They just they just think I'm nuts until they get to meet me and know the story. Otherwise, I just seem weird to them. Some guy
I just
standing out
want.
there chasing the cops.
I'm dying for his board game to come out so I can buy it.
You mean his boring game?
Boring
Yeah,
game, yes.
yeah, his
So
boring
I can
game.
buy
I can
it
imagine.
and go out in my backyard and set it on fire. And I'll learn more then than I would playing that game.
I'm glad he's gone, and I'm glad it was over quicker. I'm glad it was over
He's
quicker
still,
than
you
I
know what
thought it
he's
might be.
doing now? You know what
I
he's
have no
doing
idea,
now?
man. No clue.
Check this out. He had a guy, somebody covered him, or I might have watched his live. I might have showed up. Because like I said, I have notifications totally off. I have to go to my live feed to see what's new. So I pick up videos from there. I do, and I'm going to shout out some names here. I do watch Lucid Dreams. She does great coverage, even to older videos I've seen already.
I watched some of
Great
her.
commentary. Great commentary, a great voice to listen to, reasonable, funny, fair, and she does her research. There's another guy, he's got a weird accent, First Amendment something, but the commentary in between, it's almost like a skit. He does all by himself, with himself. It's hard to explain, but it's refreshing. It's something refreshing that, like,
Well, who is that?
his name is First Amendment. There's one that's called First Amendment Shenanigans. That's another on my top 3. He's from New Jersey, so he does a lot of what I do. He does a lot of. They wouldn't pull this shit in New Jersey, where I'm from. You know, it's refreshing, and Dummy Kruger, still love his work. And I want to give a shout out. I know there's a love-hate in the whatever community. I don't give a shit. I want to give a shout out to Shiz, because whatever anybody thinks of her, I want to thank her for her hard work working with the family of that Marine, Donald. Forgot his last name because names are. I want to thank her for her work in finally putting Kaiser. It happened. All right. I'm going to say she was 100%, but that was good, honest journalism. And love her or hate her, I give her respect. I don't hate her. I don't hate anything she does. She's funny as shit. And I just, if she's listening or anybody's a shit friend out there, thank you. Because I want the street justice for that guy. That's all he deserves. Our tax dollars should not be paying for him to live. Just saying. You take out a Marine or a PS3.
You talking about Product Wrangler? Is that who you're talking about? Okay.
That's all I'm talking about. Shiz, with her education and her knowledge of stuff, and with her everything she's been open about her father.
You roboted out on us, sir.
You know, like Evo does and all that. My power's going wonky. Fuck.
Yeah, you're coming in and out on us there on the audio.
Yeah, am I there?
I'm hearing you for the moment.
My power kicked off twice, came back on.
Well, I guess if you go dead, we'll just shut it down.
Well, can you hear me? I see my thing moving. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you for the moment. Yeah, it just cut out there for a minute and then it cut back in. So I just, it sounds good at the moment.
All right, I gotta go anyway. I'm gonna end this.
All right.
Because my daughter's flipping out because she's at work and now the internet went out. So I gotta help her.
Everybody out there, have a great day, Smitty. You stay safe, sir.
Wait, let me go through my Smitty speech. Terry, F you. I haven't said that in a long fucking time, and it feels so good to tell it to your face again.
It's an honor to hear it, sir.
Go over 2 hours. I appreciate it. I couldn't have done.
If he watches this, he'll realize I didn't even get to hear most of what he's saying.
Who am I forgetting? Nova. Thank you all for coming, and thanks for all the ones that were just listening. Hopefully one day. I don't think he should do YouTube anymore, in my opinion. But I would like to have you and Debo on here one day when Debo's feeling a little better. I think that would, and maybe get Queen, too. Maybe we can have the Fantastic Four. That's what we are now, as far as I'm concerned. Or we're just people. We don't have to do fantastic anything.
We'll see if we can
that
make
was
something
that.
happen.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for being my friend for all this time.
Well, you'd have to do something to drastic to end it, I think.
Well, Now, you do remember the time on your live stream I did piss off one of your people and I lost a person for you because I put hashtag boobies.
I remember
Remember that?
something about it, yeah, but you know, I don't put too
I don't
much
remember what
thought
her
into
name was.
people that
She wrote,
if
I'm offended. This is ridiculous. And you turn around and go, then fucking leave if you're offended.
well, I was thinking, shit, if you're offended over Smitty saying the word boobies, what about all the motherfucks I just threw down a couple miles ago? You know what I mean? Like if you're like, wow, you know, I'm one of the most
Hey, look.
reclusive, mouthy little guys ever.
Everybody's got boobies. Even men, we got boobies.
Right.
We got nipples. It happens. It's a way of life. Like everybody poops.
All
People get
mammals,
offended over the stupidest thing. The
all
stupidest
mammals have
fucking
boobies,
things.
right?
So I do apologize for losing if you lost a subscriber from me
Oh,
because
shit.
you knew I belonged over here. I couldn't. That's why I never went on Debo's live. When he did a live, I'm like, you and Terry handle it. You don't need me because I'll just fuck it up. And I did. I'll derail it and I'll put it on a different path and I'll just yap.
Think of it
You
this
know.
way, Smitty. If that person unsubbed from me, it probably stands to reason they weren't subbed in anyway, right? You know what I mean?
True.
It's no big deal. It's just YouTube, man. You know, people come, people go, and I was there for the chat doing the lives. It originally started to show you what was actually going on, you know, in Ironton, and so I did that, and then it just became friendship with the chat. But
How's Eugene doing, by the way?
he's doing good. I just seen him
Okay.
recently. I was
Tell
in
him
there
I
and
said
spent some
hello.
time.
I even though I fuck with Eugene, I like him. I like him.
I will do.
Even though
You know,
even though I used to put hashtag kick Eugene out doing 45.
you know, if you want to have fun with him, you can always go to his channel and leave him a comment on one of his videos. That's an easy way to
Send me the link. I didn't know he had a channel.
Yeah, I don't even. Let's see. Well, I can't. I don't know how to send a damn link anymore. It's been too long.
Hey,
I'll find it
I'm
and
not
text
gonna hold
it
it
to you.
again.
How's that?
That's fine. That's
Will
fine.
that work?
That'll work for me, brother.
I haven't
But
tried to share people's
I'm
shit
gonna
in so
go.
long. I'm not set up for it.
I'm gonna go and keep the peace here and get the internet's back on, but I want to make sure it wasn't. I want to make sure it wasn't a circuit breaker issue or was. My power does go out like this once a month. I don't know if they do a test on the line or something. It goes out, comes back on. Sometimes once, sometimes twice, and then that's it.
They're making sure you only get that $60 worth.
Well, they owe me two. They owe me a minute of power, so they take a minute off my bill.
Yeah, good luck.
Hey, but guys, you know, this was a good turnout today. I'm very blessed, I guess, and I'm not a religious person, but I'm very happy that everybody came. And Terry, seeing you here, you made my day.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I guess I didn't know I was all that important, man. I just
dude, to me,
I'd jump in and see who was here today.
If you don't know by now how I feel, then you'll never know. I mean, I can't say it enough. I mean, what do you want me to say? Marry me? I'm already married to another man.
Well, you know, I don't hold myself that in that high esteem. You know, it's hard for me to take a compliment like that, man. I don't mean to be put offish or anything. It's just it's hard for me because I don't think that much of myself, right? I'm so unworthy of those kinds of comments.
You should, because you know what? I've only known you on the internet, and I know if I got Queen one-on-one and said what was it like meeting Terry, I guarantee you, she'd tell me it's just like talking to him on the internet.
It was exactly the same. I guarantee you it is. There ain't nothing else about me. I'm that damn boring, man.
And Queen is the same way, correct?
Right. Exactly that way.
She was no different than she was on here.
Not a bit. Not even a little bit.
Now meeting her in person, doesn't her song fit her?
Well, it fit her before, but absolutely.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. I'm glad you met. And please find out if you can release those photos. I won't share them with anybody, and you can tell her you have my promise. I don't need Dark Watch. I always screw him up with Night Wolf. Nicole, if she's still listening, she's laughing. She corrects me all the time. You said Night Watch, right? I'm like, did I? Or Dark Wolf. I'm like, oh, well, all right, I'm fucking up here. But I don't need a picture of him. No offense to him. Just want one with two of my friends, close friends
Well, I will.
from the internet.
I've got one of just me and her, so I will find out if as long as she's all right with it, man. I'll send it right to you. No problem for me.
I appreciate that, and all right, and please tell her to give me a call.
Yes,
Because
sir.
I call her anymore. I don't want a restraining order.
Right.
I don't. She can kick my ass any day. I'll just sit back in my chair and take it.
Well, I'll send the message. I don't. Again, I don't know how long it'll take to
I hope one
respond.
day. I hope one day that picture will include me and Devo
Well,
in
I
that
guess
picture.
possibilities are always there.
I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. I'm working on getting a vehicle, and I have to go with my dog anywhere I go because unless my daughter's still here, she can watch them. Other than that, I gotta take them with me. And it's not hard to find hotel rooms that take animals. I mean, a lot of them do. Now, you pay a little extra, but
Or just sneak them in the back, make them be
or
quiet.
yeah, put sunglasses and a thing on them. Say it's my furry little brother.
It's my son. He identifies as a Dalmatian. I can't help it.
My aunt told me one day she was at her house and Santa came by in the fire truck. And you remember Benji? I know you didn't watch
Yes.
much TV, but you got to remember
Yes.
Benji.
Yes,
Okay.
I remember Benji.
They had a dog that looked like Benji, just a little fluffier
Uh-huh.
looking. And he was in the window. It was a bay window, barking at the Santa while they were going up there. And Santa was drunk. You could
No
smell
doubt.
it on him. And he says, here's an extra candy cane for your little brother in the window.
There you go.
And they're like, that's a dog. And he goes, that's a dog? I thought it was your little brother. Santa,
So drunk
Santa
always
was
seems a Santa hat.
I don't know. Little shit like that still cracks me up to this day. But it's raining here now, so it's pretty good. But this is an Italian goodbye. And I am a little Italian. It's better than an Irish goodbye where I just end it mid-sentence.
Right.
But Terry, once again, thank you. Be safe. Give me a call.
Thank you, sir.
You know where I am. And stop by again if I go live.
Well, you got lucky today. I was sitting here and happened to turn it on, and one of the first suggestions that came up was this one. I didn't even know it was you. The Madman thing. I just clicked on it to see
Really?
who it was, and then I heard the voice.
Yeah,
That's why
I
I
changed
typed
my
in
name.
the chat.
That's
I
right.
know that
That's right.
voice. Then I seen I was blue, and I thought, God damn it, I didn't even know it was Smitty. So there you go. I didn't know until I got here.
People still call me Smitty, but after everything that happened, I killed the Smitty persona or whatever you want to call it, nickname, and I went back to my Madman because it's tattooed on my arm. I mean, I went by that in my younger years, and that's really who I am, really how I started. I'm mad for other reasons now.
Right.
Get off my lawn. I'm in that age group.
Maybe you should change it to Perpetually Pissed Off Man.
That's my superhero name.
Here's your alter ego and another tattoo in the mix. I can see it coming.
Can you imagine a tattoo artist going, you
Perpetually
really want
pissed.
that? Are you
You
sure
really
you
want
want this tattoo?
You really want that written across your forehead? Say, look, motherfucker, it already is. It just ain't in English. Everybody knows it. Just looking at the
look,
wrinkles.
Ironton Order made it up, so I have to put it. But yeah, I'm getting some tats this year too. I got somebody working on the concept art for my cross tombstone with birth, Metallica, and death. The friend of mine's daughter, she's 17, and she is a phenomenal artist. Oh my God. I asked her for a skull with a butterfly. You know the significance of that. 20 minutes later, she had a sketch, rough sketch. And I'm like, that's a rough sketch? I said, don't touch it. I want that. That's perfect. Perfect. It's me and Wendy, my wife. The butterfly is her and the skull is me.
Right.
This
Well, there
girl's
you go.
phenomenal. And I'm trying to put her on the map. She's
I-
17 and people need to know about her work.
I can draw stick men, and people aren't sure that's what it is. So.
Yeah, I
no
fuck up
artistic
stick men
talent.
too, trust me.
I have no artistic talent.
No, I mean, the legs are all bent on mine. They're all wobbly. And it's like, yeah, right.
Well, if I try to make a straight line, it's crooked as hell. If I try to make sure it's got a certain amount of curve, it'll come out straight as fuck. I guarantee it. I just don't have that ability.
Well, then if you want straight, you got to pretend you're doing curve. So it comes, you got to do reverse psychology.
Yeah, it's hard to make myself think backwards, though.
Yeah, all men except Mike's around. Prairie, yes. And I can't believe that man's still around. I know you don't know who that is either, Terry. I know, that's what I noticed that real quick. I'm going to end with this, but I noticed on Debo's one day when he was covering frauditors and asked Elmo, the Spanish guy with the feminine voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I don't know who the fuck these people are, but this guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, well, I didn't trip into the auditors as much as everyone
No, you
else.
didn't.
I knew a few, and I thought I knew all there was. I didn't know there was a whole goddamn community of people out there that called themselves auditors. I just knew a few, and I did not know that there was an entire triple that community out there making fun of them. I had no idea these people existed on YouTube. I didn't know. I got thrust right in the middle all at one time.
Yeah, but everybody that covered frauditors, try to get you on there because I wanted to see what you were all about. And you welcomed that. I've seen you do a couple of interviews, and they walked away going, "Now that's a fucking good auditor."
Well,
nobody can argue.
Well, what it was is they knew something was different, or at least they thought something was different, or they was going to catch me up in something, right? And they found out that, maybe I'm not an auditor as far as YouTube is concerned, right? I don't fit the narrative of what they do. I don't really care. I just kept the name because everybody, that's how you find me. If I change the name of the channel, no one will know, right?
Look,
and
don't you ever take away what you did.
Well, it'll be there until YouTube deletes it, I guess.
You have a great body of work that could stand the test of time. I'm being serious,
great
bro.
Body of work, man. All I did was
take the fucking compliment and shut up, you little shit. All right.
All I tried to do
I'm
was
gonna
lead by example. I tried to lead by example, man. I went out and tried to act like a reasonable person, and just be an observer.
And me, I always say I love a little violence. Sometimes you need a little violence, but
well, there are plenty of other channels to provide the violence. I didn't.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I could stand behind you because what you do is right, and how can I not? Even if I didn't like you as a person, or I didn't like your voice or anything, I would still say he's doing it right.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I'm telling you, if you took your show on the road, if you out of Ironton, out of Ohio, and you traveled like these other assholes did, you would make a difference everywhere you went, and you would be noticed more, and you would take the spotlight off these morons, because it'd be like, hey, wait, here's a moron with a camera with a freaking fake beard on, and he's dressed up like a character. And here's this guy coming in, staying out of the way. The cop don't even have to tell you once. And if they had to tell you, you say where? Okay, no problem. Zoom. And you sit there quietly, and afterwards you ask them questions, and they answer you. You would be the top one out there, and you would destroy them because your shit is not filled with jackass shit.
If only that were true. You have to realize that my channel was pushed to hundreds of, possibly millions of people, but definitely hundreds of thousands of people through all these different channels that had interaction with me over time, right? More of the frauditor hating side, right? So my channel name is out there to tens of thousands of people. Everybody knows who the fuck Ironton Auditor is, but not everybody was interested in my content. Why? Because it's long, boring, and it's just not that fucking fun to watch. You know,
Yeah.
because it was real life. There wasn't any drama. That's why it didn't take off. And it wouldn't matter how many different cities I did this in. The only one I'd be making any difference in is me. I would be the one unique guy in all those places, right? And, you know, it'd be the same thing. People don't care because it's uneventful. When they need to use an example, that a lot of times they'll pull Ironton Auditor out of the hat, right? They'll say, well, this guy does it right. You know, and I don't know what right is. I always say that. I don't know that I did it right. I just thought I did it reasonable. I just showed you what happened. I didn't get involved if I didn't have to. And then I tried to find out all the detail at the end, right? And in doing that, I ended up establishing a rapport and a mutual respect with an entire police department.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it's all
good came out of
unintended,
it. No matter which way you look at it, the good came out of it.
Yeah. And now I think the community is more aware. I think they're safer, and I think the officers, you know, have had a chance to show what actually happens.
And let me ask you,
what we were
have
told.
any of the officers ever retaliated, pulled you over for something stupid, or tried to fuck with you?
One time, Officer Akers pulled me over for, he said, not stopping behind the stop block properly. You know, the big white line in front of the red light.
Okay.
You know, but after that, no, and you know, and whenever he got to, he's like, oh, you know, he said, I didn't know it was you. But,
he gave you a warning or a ticket?
yeah, no, well, what they would stop you for any reason they could find, a turn signal violation. They never gave any tickets on any of that shit. They never had any intention to. It wasn't about that.
Okay.
What they were hoping to find was an escalated stop where they could find drugs, right, or someone that has a warrant. I mean, that's why, you know, that's why the traffic division does what they do. 90% of that is drug interdiction. What they're trying to do is get in to search the vehicle. We saw that, right? We saw that a lot on my channel. I filmed a lot of searches, right? You know,
well, that one guy, I remember that one guy, he had a meth pipe.
Well, they pulled out some huge amounts on my channel. I've been there a couple of times. You know, it's been crazy. I got a little bit of footage of the.
It's in every town.
I got a little bit of footage of when the joint. There was several counties and cities there. They kind of thrown officers in there, or well, at least Lawrence County and like Coal Grove and Ironton. But anyway, they were all, it's a joint thing, and they pulled out the most meth ever in our county. You know, a huge amount. You know, I got a little bit of footage of that one day when I was in Ironton. So I was in and around a lot of different things. You know, and all the videos out there.
That's your tax dollars working. That's your tax dollars working, right? Getting the drugs.
Right.
I just wish federally, if Trump does anything, come on, Mr. Trump, make weed federally legal. Stop the stupid I smell weed stops. Put an end to that. People, the fines for weed are worse than what chomos get.
Well, see, this is the thing. Trump can't declare. He can declare it as far as federal government is concerned, but they ain't allowed to do anything about it, right? That's good. But as far as the state, he can't demand that any state does one or the other. Can't force them to make it legal or illegal, or shouldn't be able to, right? That should be a state's issue thing.
But if the states are already selling it, then that would just help it along, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Well, I won't necessarily help it along, because they're doing it anyway. All he has to do is just, you know, I don't know if is that written into law. If it's written into law, then it's not like he can just decide that it's not. Now it has to be repealed or amended, right? And that
2-3 years ago, I heard the Democrats talking about it. The Democrats were talking about making weed federally legal, where you can't get no ticket, no nothing.
Well, then apparently what they'll have to do is, well, then they'll have to, you know how that works, right? They have to propose a bill. It goes through the House, it goes through the Senate, and if it passes both of those places with enough, the president has the opportunity to veto or sign it, right? So that's how law is created, and no law can be taken away any less than that, right? It has to be run back through the same type of process. There's all constitutional happenings as to how all of that's decided, right? A president
for the next 2 years, he's got control of both.
Law. He doesn't have control of any. He doesn't have control of anything. It's just that his party apparently has the majority of seats. That doesn't mean necessarily that he controls anything.
I know
doesn't
that.
truly
I
have that
understand.
kind of power, right?
I'll tell you, it's worth a shot. I'd like to see, see it happen. I'd like to see him speed up the. I'm hoping with this whole trimming the fat and pork and whatever and all the corruption, I hope that, for future people that go for disability, they don't have to wait 4.5 fucking years for it. They need to speed up that process because it's just long and drawn out, and there's
I want to
never.
know what it is that he might be able to do that the next guy can't just come in and go, okay, well, fuck all that. We're not doing all that. We're signing these back in. We're signing those back out. We're rehiring all the same people, all the same government going on, just like it was.
That's what it seemed like it's been.
Well, what? So if it's going to happen every 4 fucking years, what difference does it make which one of these pricks we vote for? Do you see the ruse? Doesn't it seem like a ruse? No matter what happens, some other guy's got it for another 4 or 8 years, and it doesn't really matter. This is crazy shit. Crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in, and we shouldn't be living the way we are right now.
No, it's the perspective. It's the perspective.
But
most people have optical rectitis. Most people have optical rectitis. They have a shitty outlook on life.
Well, I told my boss, he said, why didn't you come in? I said, I had anal glaucoma yesterday. And he's like, what? I said, I couldn't see my ass coming to work. But anyway, Terry, once again, thank you. Everybody that's still here, I don't know why, but hey, I appreciate it.
Have a great day, everybody.
You all take care, and maybe I'll stop on tomorrow. You never know. Prairie, Elon, let that man go. He's created, even though I don't like the cars, the man's a genius. Let him figure stuff out. I don't care who's looking at my shit because
I have a question.
You don't know who's, yeah.
Do you have to be a goddamn genius to crunch numbers? I can do fucking
no.
math. I'm pretty sure the average American could look at the numbers. I don't think it's about whether or not it should be Elon. I don't really give a damn who does it. My question is how much honesty and transparency are we getting from him? Just because he's Elon Musk doesn't make me believe necessarily.
Oh, I know. But I'm giving him the benefit of doubt now until I'm proven different. Well,
I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more transparency. Because, I understand they're unsealing certain documents, but that shit from 100 years ago don't fucking matter. The question is, what's happening now? That's what we need to.
Yeah, I don't look. Let me tell you something. Couldn't stand Joe Biden. Many reasons I won't get into because I'm into dark.
Your favorite?
Well, here's the thing. I know how the government works from an alien perspective and how deep it goes from other things I'm interested in, and even if Joe Biden was doing what Trump is doing right now, I would have got behind him. Because we need less government and less spending and more tax dollars and people's money. So, look, if you could put another $10,000 in people's pockets, they still might not like will they? I don't know yet. Time will tell. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt.
Just because they find a way not to spend the money there or put it in this motherfucker's pocket doesn't mean they're going to put it back in yours. They might take the same amount of fucking money and find 10 more. Here's the problem. If they eliminate one government thing, they're going to have to put something in the vacuum most of the time, right? Depending on what it is. There's going to have to be something in order to facilitate everything else. So chances are a lot of this is still going to be sucked right the fuck up back by the government. Government's going to save goddamn billions and spend it on whatever they want. I don't know that they're going to reach it back to the taxpayer and say, here, you ain't got to give us money like this anymore. I don't know that I see that coming. Just saying. Well, that's why I asked.
Afghanistan, we don't need to pay $2-3 million plus, if not more, for a LGBT LMNOP fucking comic book. We're paying for. Get your own comic book.
I think they got a hold of Vince McMahon and got his story writers for everybody we see on TV. That's why I swear to God, I think Vince McMahon writes the goddamn storylines, just like the WWE. The good guy's the bad guy, the bad guy's the good guy, unless he's with that guy. And Jesus Christ, it's like a tag team, and it's Democrats against Republicans until it ain't. And then it seems to make no sense. I swear, I think it's just some made for TV.
And Vince doesn't even own it anymore. Vince hasn't owned it for a year.
Well, he doesn't need to. They paid him well enough for the story writers. They own him now. Nothing like a good government-funded business.
Well, he had to sell the company because of sexual lawsuits. He did some stick-ass shit.
Well,
Just saying, he's not a good person.
most people with a lot of money ain't, man.
No.
Just saying. Prove me wrong.
All right. We can keep going, I'm sure.
Just say goodbye and quit, man. You're the one that
I
keeps
know.
going.
I hate long goodbyes. All right. Love you all. You all take care. Hashtag don't care. F you, Terry. Talk to you soon, brother.
Have a great day,
Jeremy,
everybody.
take care, man. And tell Joey, I hope to see him soon. Take care. Bye.